Not muted. I almost was muted, but I'm not muted. I did it. Step one's good. Hi, guys. It's been a little while, guys. A whole week. Pretty much, right? Hi, Juju. Hi, Lizzie. Hi, Vel. I'll be lurking, no problem. Thank you. Hi, welcome in, first time chatter. Zashi6, thank you for the follow as well. Welcome to New York City if you're still here. Hi, Zashi. How we doing, guys? How'd you guys' week go? Today was my first week. Gosu's mad at me. What did I do? Why is Gosu mad at me? That's not how I want to start. Why is Gosu mad at me? What happened? What'd I do? What did I do? Yo, those Bezo bucks. Blue, thank you so much. I remember 3 months ago, because I think it's now the third month, after my hiatus, Blue was like, I have a Twitch Prime, but is it worth giving it to you? Are you going to actually be back? Blue, would you say I kept true on my promise? I've been back. Contra, hi, welcome in. Is that Ron? Hey, I know Ronnie, or Ranny. I think it's Ronnie. I know her. Hi, Contra. You have been? Yeah, I've been doing good. Late stream? This is not a late stream. This is a pretty reasonable time for me. Thank you so much, though, Blue. Give me those Bezo dollars. Fluffy Fat Food Dog. Oh, I love your model. Thank you. I appreciate you. Shout out to my model mom. I feel like I missed it. Why is a late stream? That's why Ghost is mad at me. This is not late. 7 o'clock is early for me. Guys, I've been on my Gosu. See, he's not that mad at me, guys. He's not that mad at me. Adrian, hi, welcome in. Oh, yeah. Who's that cutie on my shoulder? That is Rhyme. That's my little kitty boy. That's my partner in crime. That's my familiar. That's my homie. Hey, what the fuck, dude? Thank you. Yeah, you guys are bugging out. Thank you, guys. Damn, dude. Thank you, guys. And we have a hype train coming. I see it. I see it this time, okay? I have the stream manager open, okay? Because last time there was a hype train, I didn't even notice it. And it got to like level 5, and I didn't even say anything. It wasn't like, thanks, everybody. I love you. Because I didn't even see it because it didn't show up on my screen. So now I have it open just in case, okay? Okay? So I never want to come off like, no big deal. Like, level 5. You know what I mean? Nah, I love you guys and I appreciate you. Dude, Lizzie. No, Lizzie, you don't have to gift it. Let's go, Lizzie. Thank you. I'm not horny. Nah, I'm horny for you guys, bro. Hi, little bud more, by the way. Love. He looks deadly, but I still want a pet. Oh, he is deadly, but he's really nice. But only to me. Okay? Very important. He's only nice to me. How'd you guys' week go? Today was my first week back at work after being off for 3 months, guys. I'm getting paid, which is really nice. I was really anxious. It was really scary. It was scary. So one thing I've noticed was, I guess because I've been out of work for 3 months, and I've been in my house by myself with the cats for 3 months, I've been catching myself talking to myself more often, like out loud. So like the first day, dude, I got out of my car because my job is very like demanding, right? I get very anxious at work. So my first day, I got out of the car and I was like, it's gonna be okay. You've done it before. I'll be okay. Shut up, Juju. It's been okay. I'll be okay. I've done it before, etc., etc. And then I was like, wait, what am I doing? But then ever since that moment, I've been noticing it more and more and more. And I'm like, oh, I just do this now. Okay, so now I just talk to myself out. So I'll be around the house and I'll be like, okay, I had a good workout today, blah, 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 blah. Or, okay, it's only 7 o'clock. Like, that's not a bad time to stream. But instead of saying that in my brain, I've been saying that out loud. Is that bad, guys? It feels not great. Is that bad? It's not bad? Okay. I do it all the time, but that makes sense for you. Kay, I talk to myself out loud all the time, involuntarily. I talk to myself a lot. I heard that it's common. They say that geniuses talk to themselves, so. But I'm not a genius. But they do say that geniuses talk to themselves. But I've been noticing it a lot. So I really think that it has to do with me being in my house for 3 months. It makes sense. But it wasn't a bad week. It was actually pretty okay. I just missed the like the bad times will come because it always does with my job, right? But it hasn't yet. But what will happen? What I don't like is like I miss the free time. You get me? I miss the time with you guys, realistically. You know, that's what I miss. I miss having time to like think about streams and come up with new ideas and come up with funny tweets because everyone knows I'm more of a V-tweeter than I am a VTuber. Like when I was off, dude, I was pumping out scheduled tweets. That's how like ahead of the game I was. I was thinking about stuff. Oh, that'd be funny. I don't want to bother everybody all at once. And I would write like tweets for the week. And now I'd be like, I can't even think about it. I can't think of anything. But I have been keeping up with my workouts, guys. I know you guys it was very important to you guys. I've been keeping up with my workouts. I'm in my fitness era. Guys, I have quads all of a sudden. I have quad muscles. I've never had quad muscles before in my life, dude. You know when I just noticed that? Just now. When I was about to start stream, I went to like feed my cat real quick and I looked in the mirror and I was like, what is that thing in my leg? And I'm like, oh, it's a quad muscle. I didn't know that. I might have a butt for the first time in my life. I never had a butt. It's like the Grand Canyon back there, dude. It's like Hank Hill back there, dude. All right. You want to see what my butt looks like? I'll show you what my butt looks like. Hank Hill butt. Look at this. This is what my back looks like. Am I feeling bonita? Yeah. Muy bonita. Suavemente, bésame. I remember how to use this. Yeah, we got it. We still got it. And then we do this, pop, and then I go like this so I can show you stuff. This is what my butt has looked like most of my life. I don't know if I can show this on stream, but it's fine. See this flat butt? That's what my butt looked like. Hi, local. That's what my butt looked like. Well, that's what my butt did look like, but not anymore, guys. Okay? Because I've been working out. I've been doing a lot of squats. If I got quads, I gotta have glutes coming, right? Hank Hill butt for the win. I don't know if I still have one. Give me one second. I'm gonna look at my butt in the mirror. I'm gonna look at my window, go see. I'm gonna look at my butt. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you guys. Okay, I'm back. No, it still looks like that, but not forever. You're a fanboy, Ernie? Oh, I was looking at my butt in the mirror. It looks like that. It still looks the same, but not forever, guys. Okay. Yikes! I'm white. Okay. What do we do? Welcome in, Ernie. By the way. What do you want me to do? Okay. I'm working on it. Okay. I've been doing squats, Pop. All right. I've been hitting squats. It's gonna go away. I got good muscles. I got good arm. My arms are nice. I got nice arm muscles. But that's easy. Everybody likes the arm muscles. I got nice arm muscles, and I'm probably, if I kept up with everything the way I've been going, if I really kept up with it, like not missing a day because I've been doing really, really good, I'm probably like 3 to 5 months from like a 6-pack, I think. I really kept up with it, which I never can. But it's only been like a month or like 3 weeks. It's been like a month of eating good. Yeah. Oh yeah. What am I talking about, guys? I'm sorry. I do have a 6-pack. I'm so dumb. My bad. It's right here. I forgot I had it. Thank you, buddy. Buddy, thank you. I completely forgot that I do have a 6-pack. I forgot. My bad. Yeah, no, that's my bad. I forgot. Yeah. How did you say ads twice? That's actually crazy to have the same typo 2 times in one line. It's actually, it's almost impressive. That was almost impressive that you wrote the same typo twice. How are you guys doing though? Are you guys staying fit? Are you guys eating good? Yeah, dude, that's badass. Hell yeah, dude. I've been eating real good. I'm gonna look at my fitness track. Are you guys ready for this? I'm not gonna pull it up on stream because you guys don't need to know that. But I'm gonna pull up my fitness track. Are you guys ready for this? Hold up. Okay, here we go. This is big. You ready? I'm down since, what day is this? January 6th. So since January 6th, I'm down 11.2 pounds. That's pretty damn, that's a lot, dude. But now I'm a little plateaued because I've been like working out. So like muscle is more than fat. So it's been like going back and forth. But I dropped like 11 and a half pounds since January 6th. It's pretty good. I wish. Yeah, but that's just the beginning, dude. You know how it is now. Now I plateaued. I've been the same weight for a week now. And I've been eating really good and working out a lot. But it's not about the scale, everybody, okay? It's about your body comp, right? Everybody, we know that? Don't worry about the numbers so much. Look in the mirror. Do you look better than you did yesterday? Luckily, I have a scale that like reads your like biometrics through like your fucking feet or something. I don't know. Blue Smart, she probably knows. But it'll tell me like the difference in like how much is.
I think the girls with their nails done now.
Danny, thank you for the raid. Welcome in. Greetings from Nebula City. Well, welcome into Neo City. Welcome in, Raiders. If you guys don't know me from Vanny Stream, my name is Parody. I'm a glitchy VTuber from The Guardian here in Neo City with my cat Rhyme. And we are talking about, what are we talking about right now? Like working out and fitness and being healthy and stuff. Yeah. Thank you guys for the hype train. I appreciate you guys right before Vanny came in. I don't think I have a, oh yeah, can I get a shout out for Vanny, please? Yeah. So yeah, I have a scale that tracks like your skeletal mass and your muscle mass and your body fat. So like even with like me staying the same weight for the last week, I see like body fat going down, but I see like muscle going up. So I'm like, okay, like whatever, you know. Hate the raid and run, but I'm being called away. No, dude, I do it every time. Do what you gotta do. But thank you so much for bringing the community to come see me, Vanny. I appreciate you. But yeah, man. Plus, like I'm in real life. You guys met me. I'm like I'm broad-shouldered, right? I'm like wide. Like I'm not fat, but I'm like wide. You know, I've been fat in my life. I've been fat. I'm not. I've lost from my heaviest, I'm down. If I went to my heaviest point to my weight right now, I'm like 54 pounds down from what my heaviest was. So I used to be a big boy. I was a big boy once. There are pictures on Twitter if you really want to search, but I was a big boy once. But yeah, I'm broad-shouldered, so like I'm always gonna, which is nice. It's like a nice look or whatever, I guess. But yeah. So like, I'm really good at making like. Here's my thing. I'm really good at making like. If I want to be a fucking Chad Daddy fucking dad bod muscle, like not fat, but like dad bod muscly man, then that I can do. But I want that Spider-Man body, dude. I've always wanted that shredded ass Spider-Man body, and like one day, guys. I don't know if my body is physically capable of it. I don't know if muscle percentage has been going up. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Body composition is more important than weight, yeah. I've been working on deadlift training right now. I can deadlift 280. That's really good. I'm working up to 300 and working on my abs. I'm not mistyping that again. That's really good, dude. Abs, you really don't have to like work out that much either. I mean, I work on them 3 days a week, 3 days out of the week, but I do like, it's literally 10 minutes at the end of my usual workout. But what do they say? Like abs, I mean, don't listen to me. I've never had abs. I mean, I have a great set of abs right now, obviously. But in the case that I didn't have abs, then I would never have had abs in my entire life. So like, don't ask me about abs. But I've always been told abs are made in the kitchen. But I still work them out. So like, when they're ready to show, they'll be ready to show. But yeah, that's been really good. And also like, because I've been thinking, right? Like, you know, like I think somebody on like my Smash or Pass or something. Somebody asked me like, I think it was my Smash or Pass because Grosu was there. Somebody asked like, oh, what's like advice you have for like a streamer? And me and Grosu were laughing, right? Because we were like, I'm the worst person to ask about that because like, what the fuck do I know? Like I do everything wrong, right? You guys know me. I don't stream enough, or I stream for 16 hours playing one stupid game the entire time, or I say dumb stuff, or I say bad words on stream that I'm not supposed to say, or whatever. I do a lot of dumb shit. I do everything wrong. You guys know me. But I think we came up with like, you know, like what I've learned is like, don't make sure you separate, like, don't use people pretty much. Like if you want to make friends, but don't like try to like push collabs with the facade of like, I'm looking for friends, that kind of thing. I don't know, whatever. But that's what we said. But then I was thinking about it too, like, one that no one ever really talks. Everyone always says the same stuff for advice, like don't worry about the numbers, don't broker. But Like, I think like, this is like so stupid. Like, generally keeping up with your physical health will help your streaming. That's what I've noticed. Like, since I had started working out, some of my best little ideas I have, I could show you my notes on my phone. It's like I have a walking pad in my house. I come up while I'm walking, you know? Like if I try to walk for like an hour a day or like 10,000 steps in a day, like as I'm walking and watching stuff, I'm just like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. Oh, I could do this. Okay, that's a good tweet. Or like, I could, you know, wear this outfit for stream. I come up with these ideas while I'm walking. Because obviously like your physical health linked to your mental health. And then when you feel better and look better, you're gonna think better. But oh my God, I'm in love with my walking pad, dude. It's the best. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. There have been periods of time when my walk, and hi, by the way. There have been periods of time where mine was a coat hanger. It's gonna happen, of course. I want one so bad. They're really not that bad. I think mine was like $1.50 on Amazon, and I love it. I have one that like a bar comes up, so at least like you can put your phone on it and like the TV remote. So I try to make it like, hey, if I'm gonna watch, so I've been watching all my anime while walking. So at least like I'm not just sitting there like, oh, nice. Oh, good fight. At least I'm like, all right, I'm not a total piece of shit. And I'm like, you know, and who cares? Like, you don't gotta be running on it. Like, when I lost a lot of weight, dude, it wasn't even like, I'm not doing all this crazy cardio. I'm not doing, dude, obviously to get to like that next stage, that's probably will be helpful, but to get to like a stage where you feel good about yourself, like I've done it. I'm a yo-yoer, dude. So like where I'm at now, and I'm pretty happy right now, like I'll gain another 20 at some point. But walking, dude. Walking is like the simplest thing. It's not bad on your legs. You can knock out 10,000 steps throughout the day. You're gonna think better. You're gonna feel better. If you can get a walk in before work or after, whatever, it's like, it makes such a big difference, yeah. So just having one in the house, it's like, it's really, yeah, because it's cold out right now, dude. Especially up in where I'm at. It's like blistery, dude. Or it's brick as fuck, as the people around me would say. But yeah, it's a huge difference. So that's advice I have, would be like, go for walks. I do my best thinking like while on the treadmill. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. Cause like I put on like 12 pounds. The 12 pounds I lost in this week is the 12 pounds I gained while I've been off for work for 3 months, which is really not bad. I feel like for like spending the first 2 months of that literally sitting on my couch rotting and ordering Uber Eats 3 times a day. And I tell people that and they're like, what the fuck, you're ordering? I'm like, yeah, but like you gotta realize like I had nothing. Like the only excitement I got was like when the DoorDash guy or the Uber Eats guy would drop off food at my house. Like that was the only excitement I was getting for like 3 months. Like, oh, food's here, yes. I can't wait to see how this is, you know? So that's the only fun I was getting for a while. Average stream bit rate is too high. Yeah? Well, fuck off, figure it out, stream. But yeah, man.
Yeah, boy.
Go Frost, thank you for the follow. Welcome to New York City. Welcome in, Doug Frost. But yeah. So what do you guys want to do today? I had some ideas, but I just got, I wanted to hop on. I was gonna stream yesterday. You guys want to hear what happened yesterday? So I work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I walk every day. I try to walk every day. Maybe not Sunday, but I work out and then I walk every day. It's like 3 hours of time. It's like not, it's taking up a lot of my time, but it's worth it, I think. Right. So then I usually work out on Friday. So I'm driving home yesterday and Gosu and Lizzie called me and they're like, hey, you're going to stream tonight? I was like, maybe later, but I'm going to work out. And then they're like, nah, just work out tomorrow. You don't work out on Saturdays and you can stream and you can stream Friday and Saturday. And I'm like, you can just work out tomorrow morning. It's already late, like whatever, because you're coming home from work. And I was like, that's a good idea. Okay, I'll do that. And then I came home and went on my couch and I didn't work out and I didn't stream. I did nothing. I rotted. But I've been getting up at fucking 5 a.m. every day for work now. So I got tired like an old man, dude. So like 9:30 hit and I was like getting snoozy, dude. You know, I'm like, what happened to the days when I was streaming for 16 hours and I would be streaming until noon the next day? What happened, dude? Now, did I play a little bit of Elden Ring till like 1 a.m.? Maybe. But I haven't played in like a week, and I like Elden Ring a lot, and I didn't want it to become a game where like I played it and I never finished, or like I try to go back and I can't finish it. I didn't want it to happen, and it kind of did a little bit because like I started the game and then I couldn't figure out how to get my horse out yesterday. 9:30, I must be ancient because I sent at like 7 p.m. Dude, what time do you wake up for work? I can't, dude. My body clock doesn't work that way. Granted, I took melatonin every day this week to go to sleep. But just because I've been doing so, and I know melatonin's not like a problem or like dangerous. I can take a little bit, like a little baby bit. But like, that's another one. Like the sleep is so big. Like if I don't sleep well, then I don't have a good day at work, and I don't eat good because I get stressed, and then I don't work out because I'm tired, and then it all goes over. I'm like, no, I've been doing so good. Ghost has been waiting since 6 a.m. for you to stream. Why? Because I said I'm going to stream early today? I didn't say that early. Early for me. This is early for me. This is really early for me. Well, this is like Parody's having an event stream time. What do you mean? But you guys, I slept at 3 and woke up at 8. Slept at 3 and woke up at 8. 3 a.m. Yeah, 5 hours. I need at least like 7, dude. I want to be an 8 boy. That's why waking up at like 5 is really tough. But next week I should be able to wake up at like 8:30, which is more reasonable. I woke up and waited on Twitch with a bowl of cereal. You know, I know that's not true because I had my Twitch open today because I had my Twitch chat open today because I had mixed it up because I was messing with stuff today, and I didn't see you in there. So I know you're not. I know you're lying. I know that's not true. Nice try though. Sometimes I see people in here and I'm like, what are you doing? I'll see people in my chat. They must just be on my page for some reason, but I'll catch you guys sometimes. And I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? At 6 a.m.? No, that's true. I was not. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The reason I started working out because I was like crazy bullied throughout elementary to high school and part of college about my weight, and then I was overweight. And that time I was 5'2" and 120, 125, but I'm still 5'2". You got bullied for your weight for being 120. I guess in like, yeah, when you're young, yeah, but now you're small. So like, okay, this is gonna be an unpopular opinion. Get ready for it. Classic Parody says something stupid that chat's not gonna like. Okay, are you ready though? A little bit of bullying is good. All this like body positivity shit and all that, not good. To an extent, it's good, but not when it's like unhealthy. If it's like everybody's beautiful, whatever. I don't care. Whatever. If you want to feel like you're beautiful and you're ugly, that's fine. But if you're like very overweight, people do not need to be telling you you look good. It's legitimately dangerous. It's not okay. It's not good. It's not. And it's the other way too. If like somebody's like well underweight and they're being told they look beautiful all the time, that's not good either. Yeah. You need to be. Do you know when I started losing weight? When I was my heaviest. When I was like, legitimately, I was like 70 pounds overweight for my size, right? I was big, a big boy. And like, I'll tell you what, you wanna know what changed it? You wanna know when I started dieting and I'm like, oh, I'm fucked up. Because this is what happens, right? Like a fat person knows they're fat, right? But you don't see it, right? Especially on like a day-to-day basis, like you don't notice it as much as like whatever. So what happened is, this is years ago, but people in chat, you might know this, but like, you ever like get into, okay, so two things happen. First thing I noticed was, you ever get into a car with like a group of your friends, and like it'll be like, okay, like John is the tallest, let him sit in the front, and the 3 of us will sit in the back, right? There's like 4 of us, so you put the tallest person in the front or the biggest person in the front, so there's more room. And like, I've never been the biggest person in the group ever, like my whole life, right? I'm not like particularly tall, okay? Sorry to break the dream. And I remember like that started happening where like we would go to get in a car and someone would be like, oh, Parody, you sit in the front. You get the middle seat in the back. Yeah, or wherever. Yeah, the side. I don't get the middle. I always take a window. But that started happening where people were like, oh, well, let Parody sit in the front, we'll all sit in the back. And I'm like, why would I sit in the front? And then I'm like, that's weird. I'm like, oh, I'm big. I'm the big one. Okay, and that's whatever. What really got me, I remember I was at work, and you know if like a fat person, if someone who's like mildly chubby to fat, but not like huge, if somebody's like mildly big, if they're like, oh, if they mention being fat, everyone in the room will be like, no, you're not fat, dude. Like, nah, you're fine. Like, oh, like blah blah blah, you're not fat. Don't say that, right? Everyone will be like, no, you're not fat, right? Like, oh, you're not fat. You're just a little whatever. Like that'll happen, but like they're not whatever. So I remember like being at work, my old job, and being like, well, like talking about like maybe like eating or something like that. And I was like, don't listen to me. Like, I'm fat. What do I know? And then the people were just like, oh yeah, true. And I kept moving with the conversation. And I was like, oh, I'm so big that it's not even like, I'm just the fat guy now. I'm like, oh, that's never happened. Like where people aren't even arguing with it. It's just like, well, yeah, you know, like, oh, you're the fat dude. And I was like, oh, okay, that's not happening anymore. So that's what like started my little fucking, this is years ago, but that's what got me from like the big weight down to like a manageable one. Like, that's how I noticed. But in a way, that was good for me, right? I'm way healthier than I was then. And that's because of like anti-body positivity, right? That's because like my friends weren't like, dude, you're not fat, you're fine. No, they were like, yeah, you are. And I'm like, fuck, they're right, I am. I'm not, that's not happening anymore, you know? I'm not saying you should be bullied for your weight or like bullied for like body positivity. Come over for Chippies. You want to hear something funny? I'll tell you something really funny. So that's such a funny thing you just said because my mom calls me yesterday, right? Yeah. So my mom calls me yesterday, right before I spoke to you on the phone, actually, and I'm driving home. And mom's like, oh, how was your first day at work? Blah, blah, blah. And she knows I'm going on vacation next week, right? So she's like, do you have any plans for this weekend? Like, you gonna go see Gosu and Lizzie? And I was like, I want to go see Gosu. I would hang out with them. The problem is, like, I'm going on this vacation next week, and I've been like so like really, really, really good about like looking good right now. And I'm like, I know they always got good snacks, Mom. I'm like, Gosu and Lizzie always got good snacks, and I just can't do it right now. I can't go to their house right now. Not this week. I'm like, when I get back, I'm all for it. But like this week, I'm like, I'm going to a nice big vacation. Like, my shirt might be off. I'm trying to look good as fuck. And she was like, oh, that's fair. So like, yeah, when I get back, I'm more than happy to come over and eat your fancy cheese. But this week at least, I can't do it. I gotta stay away from you. I've been too good, I've been really good for like a month. I can't fuck it up right now. But that did happen. But anyway, yeah. So I don't think like the fat guy should get bullied to where he's going home and crying. But I don't think it's good to just like pretend it's not real or it's not happening. You're what? You're toxic? Posture check. Hi, Murray, by the way. And I'm actually sitting pretty good. Yeah, you're toxic. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So far so good. So that's catching up in my life. That's what I've been doing for the last week. Literally just working and working out. And being very bored about eating. Because I haven't been having very much fun eating. Just eating factor meals and drinking water and Zevia and working out for like 3 hours a day. It's pretty funny. Factor keeps trying to sponsor me, and I'm like, no. Meanwhile, I use them a lot. I eat them every day, pretty much. And I'm like, no. If nicotine pouches want to sponsor me, though, I'll shill those. Cause I have more nicotine pouches throughout the day than I do fucking food at this point. So yeah, I don't know. People might get mad or may disagree or clip that out of context, but I don't think over body positivity is good. You can tell the ugly girl that she's pretty. That's okay. Or the medium, you know, the ugly guy that he looks okay. That's fine. But
Yeah, boy.
and Catherine, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the city. But I think like when it comes to health things, then a little bit of bullying is fine. Sorry, I do. You want to love yourself. You love being fat and you love it. That's okay. That's good. Good for you. You're just gonna die before I do. But I'm happy for you. I'm happy you're happy. You probably love yourself more than I love myself. You're just not gonna, you know, you're just not gonna live very long. And that's okay. You know, we're all gonna die eventually. You'll just die before I do. That's fine. I don't like being skinny sometimes because some of my friends who do have weight on them are like, oh, I wish I was that slender or something. And it makes me feel bad since I know they can do it, but they don't care about their health. Of course. Dude, I've done it. Okay? Like, you know how I did it? You want the secret, guys? Do you guys want the secret? Go for walks. Stop eating so much fucking food. That's the secret. That's the trick. Walk around. Stop stuffing your fucking face. You can lose weight. It's possible. I did it. Now, some people have a fucking thyroid problem and this and this and that. Angie, it's me. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the news. I can't believe I'm getting followers while having this conversation. I thought I'd be losing followers. But I wish my friends would have said something sooner to me when I started getting, but it did happen at a really bad time in my life. That's usually what happens. I stress eat. I know people who get stressed and they don't eat for days. I'm like, I wish I had that problem. But you know what's funny? When I lost the weight, I remember talking to like my now ex's brother and being like, bro, like I was big like that? And he was like, yeah, bro, you were big. And I'm like, you never said nothing? And he was like, nah, you were just fucking big, bro. Like you were fat. Like you look good now, but you were fat. I'm like, say something. That's toxic positivity. You see? No, you look good. That's toxic positivity, guys. I can be almost as bad as, as when I stress, I don't eat and mainly get angry fast. I get hangry. I surely get hangry. I definitely do. But when I stress, that's when my mind goes straight to. If I'm having a bad day, it goes straight to Doritos. It goes straight to candy. It's bad, dude. That's the problem. And I think that's been good that like I haven't been too stressed, even with the work thing, because work was good, right? So I was able to like keep it up. But you know, also no streams next week, guys. I'm not going to be in the country. I'm taking a vacation to Mexico. Avocados in Mexico. So I'm not going to be around next week. I was going to tell you guys I'm going to Mexico, but it's a pretty big place. I don't think you're going to find me. 7 for 7 Royale. Hi. Also, hi, Velvet. Welcome back. So no streams next week. Oh, unfortunately. I know you guys are dying over it. Oh, no, Parody. I wish you were in a stream. I know. Maybe I could sneak one into I have a treadmill at work, so maybe if I can get my walking, maybe on like Tuesday, if I get my walking in at work, maybe I can get home on time and stream on time. We'll see. No promises though. I can try. Because I'm not going to be able to stream next week. I'm going to be out of the country from like Friday to Monday, so. Mexico, that's nice. I went there a couple years ago. It was really nice. I've never been to Mexico. I'm going for a wedding. That's why I need a 6-pack by next week, because bridesmaids. I mean, what? I know. Listen, I'm nothing if not honest with you guys, right? To a fault. I'm nothing if not honest with you guys. You know? But what Zashi was saying before about like, see, I've never been overly skinny where people are like, oh, I wish. You know? My mom is like, so I grew up in a household that was like always about weight, right? I have 2 sisters, my mom, and they were always on some kind of diet or like Jenny Craig or sugar-free this and this diet and this and that. So everything is weight focused. Everything, my whole life has always been weight focused, which is not good because you like get a really bad relationship with food that way, which I do have. And So it's like always been a problem. So it's like, no matter what, my mom will be like, ah. You know, like the old Italian grandma, it's like you're getting fat or something. My mom is the opposite. She'll always be like, oh, you look so skinny. And it's like annoying. I don't want to hear it. Even when I know I've lost weight or whatever. But she would say that when I know that I was not good. I could have gained weight and she would tell me that. And I was like, you're not making me feel good. But hey, Lila, welcome in. I will tell you one thing though. This is a really stupid thing for me to think, but it's true. So like, okay, at my job, right? I've been at my job now for 5 years, right? So those kind of comments from family, I hate that. Yeah. They mean well. My mom means well, but I don't know. It just gets like annoying. All right, Monk, we're not talking about it. Even though it's kind of like, but I will say, right? I've been at my job for 5 years now, right? So I was like pretty fat for like the first like 2 years at my job. So it's like when people who saw me back then see me, right? They're like, whoa, like, dude, you look great, which like feels good. And I like that, right? I like that. But now, like that feels good. But now there's all these new people who only know me as looking the way I do. So I just how I look. That's no fun. What fun is that if I just look the way I look? You get what I'm trying to say? The fun part is getting people to be like, whoa, how'd you do that? You know? Or like, wow, you look so different. You know? Like, I ran into one of my college buddies semi recently, and he was like kind of fat. But he's like, dude, I just saw everybody recently. It's like, you're the only person who looks better than you did when we were in school. And I'm like, I like that. See, I like that. But when people just see me, it's just like, there's nothing special. I'm like, no, I want people to be like, yo, what the fuck? Carry around a picture? I do. I swear my life I do. I promise I do. I keep one. I'm like, yo, you want to see what I used to look like? You guys want to see what I used to look like? I'll show you guys. Let me see. I know I have it. Oh, I deleted it. I do have it on my phone, but I'm not gonna go do the hassle of sending it to my email and blah blah blah. But I do have it. It's on my Twitter somewhere, but I'm not scrolling all the way down. But I do have a picture on my phone. I used to keep that same picture on my fridge. It's not healthy. I got the opposite and get told I look so much better when I started. The department I work in doesn't allow makeup or nails or anything like theirs. Yeah, I won't look as good. Fine, but look at it this way. What's better, right? What's better? The girl who like always has makeup on and looks all done up and looks great, and then when she like doesn't have her makeup on one day, everyone's like, whoa, you sleep last night? I'm like, whoa. Or the girl who's like looks good like all the time without her stuff all done up, but then when she puts it on, you're like, holy shit, I didn't even know she looked like that. That's better. I save a ton of money on makeup and now I can sleep more. Well, yeah, you don't have to like spend an hour taking off all your makeup every night, right? What's important is that you love how you look. Others can have an opinion, but what matters the most is how you feel. No. Being bullied for being fat is good. No, I disagree, because I would have never lost the weight because I didn't think I looked bad until the comments got made, and then I was like, oh shit, I look terrible, and then I got better looking. No. You know when I started dressing better? You know when I like got a better haircut? And you know when I like started taking care of myself better? When that mean girl I was dating for a little while told me I dress like shit and my hair is stupid. That's what she told me. And I was like, what? And she was right, okay? She was mean, but she was right. You need that. You need a little bit of bully sometimes, dude. You need it. No, what you're saying is right. I'm just saying in context of like, because like, I don't care. If you're 400 pounds and you're like, I love being fat, I love the way I look. Like, good for you, but it's not healthy, dude. You're gonna die. You're gonna die, and probably pretty soon. My main concern is when leaving the house is whether or not I have to remember to put on pants. I've never done that, but I have gotten to my car with my slippers on, with my house slippers on, like Ugg slippers. Does the comments affected you in a positive way? Yeah, a little bit of bullying. Some bullying is good for real, though. The lack of bullying is why a lot of people these days suck. That's 100% true. Guys, how many Instagram videos, TikToks do you see and you're like, dude, what the fuck? Yeah, it's because they weren't bullied. Those people got bullied in high school and everyone's like, oh, I'm a fucking weirdo. Social media like created this like space for like people that would usually be on like the outskirts of a society. Like the fucking village loony guy or the fucking, you know what I mean? The crazy guy from school. But they gave them all a voice and they all get together and now they have a voice and they started dictating things. Started dictating the way video games are made. They started dictating the way politics are done. They started dictating shows and movies because they all have a voice all of a sudden. And they're loud and very annoying. But like usually those people would just be like, okay, and you push them to the corner or they get bullied into acting normal. But it's gone now. It's coming back. It's coming back, guys. They brought retard back. We're bringing bullying back. 2025. Parody 2025. Retard and bullying are back. That's the platform I'm standing on. I'm running on that platform. I need a political poster of me. The Obama picture, the red and blue. And it just says parody. Retard is back. Bullying is back. Bitch, I've been called a retard my whole life. Yeah, but that checks out. Some make me hate that I have eyes and one good ear. Yeah, because those people aren't being bullied. They're supposed to be being bullied. They would have been. And then you act normal. Explain? Because you're fucking retarded, Juju. What do you mean? What the fuck? John, hi. Welcome in. Oh, okay. Yeah, but you're like our little retard though. We love you. Yeah, I'm retarded. That's why I say I'm allowed to say it. Because I'm retarded. I can say it. I'm neurodivergent. I got the R word pass. I had to think about that. That was a close one, guys. I had to think about that one for a little bit. That was close. That was a minefield. It's like, what letter is? I get told I'm mean, but it's because I don't BS people and tell the truth. They don't want to hear. Yeah, I'm kind of similar. I'm like that too. I'm very much like people who like are I'm very sarcastic, right? Extremely sarcastic. So like the people who get it are like, oh, that's parody, like blah, 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 blah. Oh, he's funny. But then like people like meeting me on the first time, sometimes they're like, dude, what the fuck is wrong? Like this guy's like, why is this guy such a fucking asshole? But like, and then maybe they won't like me ever. Maybe they find out like, oh no, he's like that. And it's like, well, that's fucking, who the fuck wants to hang out with someone like that? But then my friends who like it, they like it a lot, so. Everyone's a little retarded? Yeah, Juju. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. We're bringing it back. I don't care. Parody 2025. I'm neurodivergent, okay? We can say it. And we're bringing it back. I don't care. I don't care. We're bringing it back. Parody 2025. Retards back. I got the crown for all the retards? No, you don't. I'm the retard king, okay? Take it easy. You can work in my court as like a jester or something, but relax. It's the autism for me? Yeah, that'll do it, dude. Try not to make too many autistic jokes just because like that's like a real thing. Like that's like retard is like a general term, but like you get what I'm trying to say? But like there are actual autistic people running around. So I try not to make the joke about that too much, but that I'm the retard queen? No, you're not, because that would make me married to you. I'm not marrying you, Juju. You're not the retard queen. You're like a jester. You wear like a hat with bells on it and you entertain me. You're not the retard king or queen. You're just retarded. You have no order over us. You have no, you know. Retarded and autistic are two different things to me, but I think that I see it because I'm autistic and smart. No, retarded and autistic are completely different things. Autism is an actual condition. Like, someone's just being a retard. They're different. They're definitely different. %100% are different. Retards are just retards? Yeah, retards are just retarded, dude. Retards are just retarded. Big difference. I still have Game Pass. What do you guys want to do today? Should I delete Game Pass? Oh no, it's through Xbox app, right? Do you guys want to watch videos and stuff, or should we play a game? What do you guys want to do today? I didn't really go into stream with like much thought. Videos? You guys like the videos, man. You guys never like when I play games. They put Diablo 1 on Xbox Game Pass. That's fucking hilarious, dude. Blizzard's so dead. It's ridiculous. They put a 40 King 2 on Game Pass, though. I actually like For the Game Pass. For the King's a good game. Ron Mango? My commentary is unmatched? Ah, yeah, you know. Well, you know what? Ron Mango did do a part 2. She did do a part 2 to that one we watched last time about the Squid Games. You guys want to watch that? Yeah, you guys want to watch that. I know you guys want to watch that. You guys want to watch that? Alright. I'll be changing the stream name and stuff. At least on YouTube. Rotten Mango watch party. Ow. My commentary is unmatched. You guys want to see one of the comments I got on my fucking Rotten Mango stream before? I'll show you. Rotten Mango watch party. My stream just becoming a fucking, we just watch Rotten Mango? Is that what we do now? We just watch Rotten Mango? Granted, I have asked you guys in my Discord to like submit clips and submit videos for me to watch, and I've literally never done it. Sorry. Not one time have I watched one thing you guys have fucking making it a dedicated day of the week. Yeah, but when I only stream one day a week now. I'll probably be on tomorrow, though. But that's a good idea. That is a good idea. Okay. Do it like this. Rotten Mango Mondays? No, I work out Mondays. Maybe Tuesdays. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But here, I'll show you guys some. So, like, if you're not following me on YouTube, you should, by the way. I forgot which one it was. I've gotten, like, all good comments for the most part. And then one person was like, "Oh, you were talking the whole time." I'm like, I have to. Only one mean comment. So someone was like, it was this one. They're like talking over her the entire time is just as disrespectful, unwatchable. So I was like, wait, what did I do? Like, hold on, what did I even? I'm like, okay, 440. What did I do?
If there is anything at all that is mistranslated, miscommunicated, or anything we didn't include, please let us know down in the comments. So with that being said, let's get started. The torture, it's a lot. If that is a lot for you today, please go take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry. I have some food, but I don't know if I want to eat while I stream
many identities have been
and watch this shit.
Not released. They've been
it feels disrespectful to be like,
a few statements have been condensed for time, and we had our professional translators help us with the gathering of the facts of this case. But if there is...
That was it. I'm like, that was not even talking that much. So they're like talking over the entire time, which is disrespectful, unwatchable. So I was like, and someone was like, oh, thanks for the heads up. I was like, yo, sorry, I was hungry. Like, but then someone was good. Yeah, if you're gonna do a reaction video, you should just be reacting in complete silence. That seems like a completely rational thing to do. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck do you want me to do? Like, the fuck? Like, better yet, just play the whole video and have your avatar point to Stephanie and make shocked faces for an hour. The new definition of transformative. Too much talking? Yeah, it was too much talking, dude. First of all, you have to talk or it's stealing. That's how copyright works, guys. Chomp? Yeah, well, it wasn't. Hi, Miyaki, by the way. Can I get a shout out for Miyaki? It really wasn't bad. But that's like copyright, okay? Like, if I'm just watching your videos without talking, I can't do it. Have a hand cam and use sign language for your reaction. It's actually not a terrible idea. That's pretty funny. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. Watch the whole thing and then talk about it at the end so everyone can forget what they watched while you talk about it. So stupid, dude. So dumb. That's the only bad comment I ever got. So I was like, okay, that's not too bad. It could be worse. All right, we'll watch the part 2. I'm gonna start the YouTube video, so I'm gonna do a stupid like, right guys, not that bad, you know. Now that person's just a retard, a ratard. Yeah, he's a ratard. If you got a bad comment, it means you're famous. Yes. Yo, dislikes are also engagement, guys. Okay, makes no difference. All right, we got part 2, baby. We got part 2. Honestly, if that's the worst comment you've ever gotten, then I'm impressed. It's the only bad one I've gotten so far. Yeah, pretty impressed. People are just talking about stuff. People want me to watch the Yandere one, but I'm putting the Yandere one off because I know the story and I know I like the girl. I freaking love Ramen Mango, dude. Everybody loves Ramen Mango. So do I. All right, I'm gonna start recording for YouTube, so just like ignore like the baby. All right, okay, ready. All right, guys. Last time we had watched the part 1 of the real life Squid Game, so right now we're gonna watch our part 2. South Korea erased 4,000 people to host the Olympic Games. The first episode basically talked about, it was basically like Squid Games where they were stealing all these kids and elderly and stuff and putting them through these like torturous games, cutting their hair all weird. And towards the end, we seem to have found out that it was because the Olympics were coming and they wanted to get all of like the riffraff or anyone that didn't look perfect like off the street so that like when other nations came, it didn't look like a dirty place or whatever, especially like in the 80s because Korea wasn't the way it is now. So that's where it ended off. So this is part 2 now. Cool.
Is forced to sit on for hours.
Cool. We talking mango here? Oh, we talking mango out here, dude. Oh, hell yeah, we are. I mean,
Bada bing, bada boo.
It's way too
It
loud.
is one of the biggest churches in the city of Busan in South Korea. Only nobody really knows.
Let me know how
what
the
it
audio is, guys.
It's in the middle of the woods. You have to be invited in to join the church, but it's also not a cult. This is not a cult story. The church has the capacity to seat 3,500 people, give or take. Sometimes it's 4,000. There are just what feels like an endless row upon row upon row of rock-hard church pews. Every church member is forced to sit on for hours every single Sunday. The pews, the chairs, they're at a firm 90-degree angle, and because attendance is so high, you're arm to arm. In the summer, it feels like you and the person next to you are gonna fuse together in the flesh because the sweat, the moistness, just touching each other for hours at a time. Winter is not as bad, but every single Sunday, the inevitable moment comes, like every Sunday, the red sack people. The pastor, Pastor Lim at the podium, will ask the red sack members to come up. It looks like a row of red floating balls that just float onto the stage. But they're people. They're wearing red burlap sacks with ugly paint on the front. And the ugly...
It's so crazy that they have to wear the blue jumpsuits. It's literally Squid Game. There's no way like Squid Game wasn't... Like, I doubt Squid Game would ever like come out and like admit to it, but there's no way Squid Game is not inspired by this. It's like 1 for 1. Like a lot of it, you know? Especially like in the first episode, she was talking about all the different games they had to play. And like there were less games and more like saw traps almost than real games, but also every episode we say it, but like Stephanie looks good today.
paint reads, "I am a sinner who has gone against God's word." Everyone in the church holds their breath as the pastor approaches the red sack people. His eyes look soft, they look sympathetic. He puts his hands on their heads and they bow down. The pastor closes his eyes. In the name of Jesus, you are being punished. Then he moves to the next one. In the name of Jesus, you are being punished. And then the next, one by one, he does this to all of them. In the name of Jesus, you are being punished. In the name of Jesus, you are being punished. And then he turns around. The pastor does. And when he turns back to face the row of red sack wearing people, he has put on a pair of boxing gloves. And bam, he just starts
Irene Devil, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the OC. And hi, Christine. Welcome in. I love this thing that she does where she starts off the video as if Christine, thank you for the follow as well. Welcome to the OC. I love the way she, well, again, tells a story, right? We all do. But I love how she starts the video always. It's like you're 45 minutes in, right? You're like, wait. At first, I'm always like, wait, did I miss something? And then you're like, have all these questions. Like, wait, why is this happening? What the hell? And then she goes back to the beginning and like gets you going. You know? And then you understand what I'm trying to say? It's great storytelling. Like, kind of tells you in the middle without giving anything away, but making you be like, wait, why? Like, right now, I'm thinking like, wait, if this is about like beautifying South Korea, what does that got to do with, why are there priests involved? What does that got to do with anything? I don't understand. But, you know, was not expecting that following sound. Yeah, but you liked it, right? Welcome in. Hope you had a good day. I did have a good day. I appreciate you. I like the idea of the pastor just yelling, yeah, boy. That's fucked up. That's fucked.
pummeling them one by one to the ground. None of the thousands of people in this church look away. They're not allowed to. Their eyes are glued to the front. None of them stop the pastor. None of them scream. None of them shout. None of them do anything until these red sacks at the front are laying down horizontal on the ground, and now they're oozing red liquid. They're dead.
He punched them to death?
A lot of them get beaten to death.
Whoa.
The church members think, well, they're lucky if they're dead, you know? If they're dead, their bodies will be dragged off, probably to be sold. If not, they're going to repeat this again next week. This is not a cult.
Dead body
This
to be
is
sold?
the Brothers' Home, a government-funded camp to cleanse the humans of South Korea for the Olympics.
What are we watching? Ryan Mango video on the real life Squid Game. This is part 2. I have a YouTube video up if you want to watch part 1, but also if you want to just watch Rotten Mango's part 1, obviously. That option as well. As a Catholic and a believer in God,
We would
this
like
is
to thank today's
disgusting.
sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to directly support a survivor of today's episode.
The churches have
This
done a lot
episode's
of
partnerships
things.
have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team, and we'd also like to thank you guys for your continued
Dipper,
support as
thank
we
you
work
for the
on our
bits.
mission
I
to be worthy
appreciate you.
advocates. As always, full show notes are available at RottenMangoPodcast.com.
Good night,
With that
Dipper.
being
Thank you.
said, today's case involves mentions of internment, essay, trafficking, and torture. Please take a break if it gets to be too much. This case is on the heavier side. But I also think it's very important. Another thing to note is that this is something that happens all across the world, like I said in the previous episode. And South Korea at the time that this took place was not a democracy. It was run by a dictator. So hopefully massive changes have been made. And additionally, our amazing Korean researchers and translators were actually able to travel to some of the survivors involved
amazing.
in today's case.
She said that last time. That's so
conduct
cool.
in-person interviews.
That's so
They
cool.
translated the survivor's book, The Surviving Child, written by Han Jung-sun. He's a huge part of the case. I'm going to refer to him as Han. Additionally, this is a 3-part case. If you haven't watched part 1, please go watch that first. I'm going to link it because none of this is going to make sense. In part 1, we go through the torture games that were held at the Brothers Home Welfare Center,
Literally
how
Squid
they
Game.
compare to Squid Games. And in this episode, we're going to go through what they do to the dead bodies, as well as the saltwater food torture and what happens when you escape. In part 3, we will go in depth on the wealthy benefactors of this facility. So with that being said, let's get started.
Yeah, she mentioned last time something about like an adoption ring also. Your model looks very cool and pretty. Thank you. I have 2 quick notes I want to say. One, I'll ask you guys, I'll put a poll at something maybe or whatever, or usually let me know, but do you guys always want to stick to these like dark ass Rotten Mango videos? Because people have been like suggesting like, hey, she has other channels that are like a little more lighthearted or like more fun drama, stuff like that, not just like the awful stuff. I like the awful stuff personally, but if we ever get too dark, she has other channels. I mean, we can also not have to watch her all the time, but I like Stephanie a lot. Number 2, church thing. I do think religions have done bad stuff in the past and still kind of do sometimes. But I do think that a big reason people are so depressed and so lost in life these days is because like the power of the church went away in a way. Like people don't have a third space anymore. I feel like the community you used to get from like church and stuff was like a really big, and it gave you like meaning and things to do. And now everyone's like, well, come on, God's not real, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to listen to the funny man in the sky who hates gay people. Cool. You know what I mean? I'm in agreement, but now like people have lost that like third space and like sense of community. And I think it's like really like, it's really like, been part of like why people feel so like lost and aimless and not narcissistic. What's the fuck? Nihilistic. Like nothing matters, whatever. Like, I don't know. I'm a mixer of liking awful and good stuff. Yeah. I like the awful stuff as well. Okay, let's go. Anyway, quick notes.
In season 2 of Netflix's Squid Games, the main character, Ki-hoon, he just survived Squid Games. In season 1, he walks away with $40-something million. But he more or less, I mean, was it worth it? I don't really know. He more or less had to kill his childhood friend that dies in the games to win. And the minute he comes home, he finds out that his mom is dead as well. So for a year, Ki-hoon, he can't even touch the money that he won. The idea that he would have to use this blood money, it just reminds him of every single person, all 400-something people that died in the Squid Games. It doesn't even make sense. Couldn't he win all of this money without them dying? It's not like they died so that he could get the money. The money was already there. It doesn't connect. A year after his initial win, he finds out the truth. The games are created for rich people's entertainment, and this lights a fire underneath him. The logical thing for him to do is find closure, walk away. But instead, Ki-hoon vows he is going to get revenge on the rich VIPs, and he's not going to stop. He is going to end these stupid games, even if it means losing every single penny that he had just won, and even losing his own life. The National Assembly building in South Korea is this massive stone structure. But the legislators, they show up, so do the administrative staff, personnel, researchers. They show up to work, and outside is usually a row of people, protesters. But this time is different, because a lot of people will protest different things at the National Assembly, but this group, they've been very serious. They've been here, living here for 3 years, living outside the National Assembly in tents. Sometimes they walk, sometimes they just hold a sign with tears streaming down their face. Sometimes they fast, and people have to beg them to eat because they're becoming emaciated. This time, they're sitting next to each other one by one, and they're all looking stoic.
Hi,
Not
Anarchist.
saying anything.
Welcome in.
Their eyes look like they're about to start crying. Some of them are already crying. There's just tears dropping everywhere, and they're all shaving their heads to get attention.
How many people in that group?
It's like a row of 10 almost. These are the victims of the brothers' home. They have been protesting for 3-something plus years. I mean, it's a long time. And it all started with one man, the man who wrote the book, Han. He tells the legislators, I am a child who survived hell. You know, it's easy to go from human to beast, but very hard to return from beast to human. Which is why after he escaped Brothers Home,
That makes sense.
he wanted to kill people. He admits he thought becoming a serial killer was the only way that he could escape Brothers Home. He says, like a psychopath, after I left, I just wanted to kill everyone around me. I felt like it was the only way to get everyone to listen to my story. But then I thought, what about everybody else? Everybody already hates us. We were labeled as vagrants. People saw us as less than human even after we got out of Brothers Home.
That's crazy. So like after all that, you come out. It's not like victims of like an internment camp or something like that, or whatever, where it's like apologies and all this stuff. It's just like you're still pieces of shit because you were put there in the first place because you weren't like the high society. Anyone who wouldn't be pretty. This is episode 2 of the Brothers Home. It is Calgo. Welcome, by the way. He literally just asked, is it worth it to get lifelong trauma of seeing people die and then get money as a reminder of what you witnessed? Like, man, I mean, I would do it.
Why give them more reason to look down on us? So he said, I'll give it one shot. I will go to the National Assembly and I will protest and see what happens. Escaping the Brothers' Home compound is nearly impossible. In part 1, we talked about how the walls are 30 feet tall. I mean, even if you somehow manage to Spider-Man climb the structure, they put, in certain parts of the wall, glass shards on top. One attempted escapee, Lee, he says he made it up the wall. He climbed it. And when he reached the top, he had cut up his hands and legs so badly he was caught. He says, I was dripping in blood. I couldn't walk. So I was dragged across the concrete, leaving these blood stains, sent back to the office. I was beaten by the guards. Everybody took turns hitting me. I was beat probably 100 times in that moment. Then he was taken to the church to repent for his sins. He had to put on that red sack. And from there, the pastor would pummel him in front of everyone to show everybody this is exactly what happens when you try to escape from Brother's home.
So I want to know what,
Pastor, is that the same guy as that head dude in charge, or it's a?
No?
why religion is involved.
But he's another.
Oh, this is the
top
guy?
Yes.
Person.
This
Their
fat.
family. In the end of part 1, 12-year-old Jung, do you remember him? His dad is the toilet paper salesman.
Yes.
He's trapped in Brother's home for 2 years, and the only thing keeping him alive is the thought that his dad is going to come and save him. Years later, his dad shows up at Brother's home, but instead of being
Yeah,
there to
he's
take him
one of
out,
them.
rescue him, Jung's
I
dad
remember
is
that.
standing there wearing a blue tracksuit.
Ugh.
It's very interesting because Squid Game, even the actual show, has a lot of interesting components, like the fact that there's so many familial dynamics at play in season 2. I would say these are not really spoilers because season 2 is connected to season 3, so we don't really know what happens even. But if you're adverse to any type of spoiler, please be warned. So for example, in the new round of Squid Games, there's a mother and son duo. The two of them, they meet in the games. Neither
So
knew that
they
the other
didn't
party was
know-
going to show up. They
Okay.
have no
I
idea.
didn't watch it,
They
so-
get there, they enter the games, and both of them are there to win the money so that they could pay off the son's gambling debt. Without giving any spoilers, I mean, how is that going to play out? We don't know because, like I said, season 3 is coming. If it's
Bro's literally talking about Brother's Home and how bad it is. Apparently, man, he's fat. Because fuck him, dude. He's a piece of shit. That's why. Not just some random person, but I'm like, look at this fat fuck. Like beating kids and stuff like that. That's why I said it. Not just because he's fat.
it's just like the first games, there's only one standing. It can't be both the mother and the son. If there's an unspoken familial bond that would indicate
One of them
that
are
it
going
has to be
down.
the son, right? Because he's younger. And mothers likely have that innate desire to protect their own children. Or I wonder if it's a question of, are humans just humans at the end of the day? Like when it really comes down to it, survival instincts kick in regardless of who birthed you. And it's about surviving in the end. For example, the recruiter, remember the guy in the suit
The hot
that works
guy.
for the games? His whole job is to go around, approach people at subway stations. He knows they have debt. He's the one that scouts the potential candidates for the game, invites them in. He thinks all these recruits are beneath humans. He thinks they're subhumans. He believes genuinely that he is doing the world a favor by getting rid of them. He used to be a pink suit wearing guard inside of Squid Games, and he tells the main character in season 2, clearing and incinerating the bodies of countless people like you. These things aren't human, they're just trash. They have no purpose in this world. That's what I kept telling myself for years. And I worked hard, and one day, the game makers, they gave me a gun. I liked the way it felt. It was like somebody had finally acknowledged my existence.
Give him a gun.
One year there was a man who lost, and I went over to shoot him, but I recognized his face. Can you guess who it was?
His friend.
My dad.
Oh.
And he still shot him. He killed his own dad.
Holy shit.
Why?
That's what happens in the games. Kill or be killed. And also, I guess maybe he thinks these humans are so subhuman and he has resentment towards his dad. 12-year-old Jung in Brother's home is
Whoa. God damn. I got nothing on that one. Holy shit.
standing in the middle of the field and he's staring at his dad wearing that blue tracksuit. Jung's dad actually looks worse than Jung. He's lost so much weight. It's like someone just draped a blue tracksuit on top of a thin wire hanger. He can't even fit the smallest size. Jung says he looked terrible, just skin and bones. It's a complicated feeling. Are you happy to see the person that you have been praying to see for years, or do you feel sad and miserable and depressed that they're going to share the same fate as you and that nobody can save either of you? Jung says it's even more complicated because you have this weird shame component. He says, I didn't even want to meet my dad's eyes in there because I thought, wouldn't my father be ashamed to see me right now? It just was such a strange feeling. A few days pass since Jung first sees his dad. Anytime all the prisoners are gathered in the courtyard, he keeps his head down so his dad
They haven't
doesn't
even
see him.
spoken yet.
And
yeah.
then one day he
That's
hears
so
a familiar
crazy.
voice. Jung, are you eating well?
Fuck.
it's his dad. His dad is looking around nervously and he's just glancing from side to side. And finally, he reaches into his pocket and pushes a package into Jung's hands. It's a rice cake. It's a hardened rice cake. During the holidays, each prisoner receives one rice cake. It's just a small square of rice cake. He had been carrying the rice cake for days, not knowing when he would run into his son. He starved so that his son could get an extra bite.
And he knew his son was there the
Jung
whole time.
breaks
Then.
down when he's telling interviewers about this moment later on because he said, I was 14 at the time. I was so hungry. I ate the rice cake. I ate it all as soon as I got it. But afterwards, I just thought, I'm so immature. I mean, thinking about it now, how my father must have felt when he saw me, when he met me from his perspective, what he did to give me that rice cake, seeing me there. I mean, I think I was just too immature. Turns out, after Jung disappeared, Jung's dad spent a year searching for him, going everywhere, going to all the train stations, trying to figure out where the hell is my 12-year-old son. He would never run away like the police are claiming, so something's not right here. Also, the police, they're not telling him that his son has been taken into brother's home. They're just saying, I don't know, maybe he ran away. Who cares about your son?
I mean, police
Are the one that took him in.
Yeah, they're the one that kidnapped.
They don't even tell him. Because they get bonus points from the government. This is just going to cause more trouble. So they don't like it. They don't want to tell him.
Crazy. So they kidnap the kids, and then the parents come in saying, "Oh, my kid is missing," and they're saying, "Oh, okay."
Oh yeah, well,
He ran
he
They're
ran
the
away.
one that took them.
Yes.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Jung's dad spends a year searching for him. No.
I swear to God, we're all fucking Stephanie's husband, dude. I swear we're all Stephanie's. I like that. Like, she doesn't seem to tell him the stories first, so like he's hearing it for the first time, like we are. Welcome back from Agile, by the way.
No help, no hope from the police or neighbors. So he resorts to trying to drown out his sorrows in alcohol. One day, Jung Sr. gets so upset that he's drinking. I mean, sure, he's not the mayor of Busan, but he's thinking my son was a straight-A student. He meant something to the world. He could have been someone. He meant something to me. Isn't that all that matters? But the police,
think so.
who are they? You know, they're here to serve the people, and they're treating him like dog poop stuck on their shoe. He walks over to the police station, not to start a fight or to be violent, just to protest, a one-man protest. Just help me find my son. Where is my son? You must help me. The police take one look at him, and they smell the alcohol in his breath.
Oh, he's
And they
done.
think, what a vagrant.
Yep.
Take him in.
Wow. He walked into a police station.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jung was in there since he was 12 till he was nearly 15. He says, I strongly resisted the essays at the time that were happening every single night to others. But because of that, I was beaten even more. It's a different humiliation that's different from just being beat. Even now, the shock is
Bootsy man, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in your city. I forgot how I say hi. But yeah, welcome in. He always asks the important questions. He does. I'm telling you, he's us, man. He's us. So I love the way that they do that.
I just knew I had to escape that hell. He's out in the courtyard one day, and his eyes are glazed over, just trying not to get burnt by the sun, which is really hard. Okay, so they're saying in the summers, even in the winters, it's really difficult because if you listen to part 1, they're only allowed to wash their face with coarse salt grains. It rips your
remember that.
flesh. It makes it raw in the sun. And then you're getting punched in the face by these guards every day. And now you have no moisturizer, nothing. You're just in the glare of the sun. He's squinting and he looks up and his heart starts pounding. He notices all the guards are busy. And there's been this one building he's always looked at, because if you were to get to the roof of that building, it's tall enough that you could potentially jump onto the ledge of the wall that's blocking them.
Like the 30 feet wall?
Yes. If you climb to the top of that building, the gap between the wall and that building are not that much, and it's about the same height, the roof and the upper ledge of the wall. So he takes the chance. He says, I ran like lightning to the building's roof. He jumps from the roof, knowing that he could very well land on the floor and die, or worse, survive only to be beaten to death, okay?
Right.
But he jumps, lands on the ledge of the wall, scrapes himself from all the blood. He drops down from the wall on the other side. It's not nearly as high because it's built on a hill. He jumps down and just starts booking it. There's no looking back. He's sprinting through the woods, scraping his face. He can't even keep his eyes fully open because the branches are slamming into him and he doesn't want to slow down. He's just running. The next thing he knows, there's this massive barbed wire fence in front of him. What the hell is this? Some sort of secondary blockade? He doesn't even know how long he's been running. He just starts, without even thinking, climbing up the barbed wired fence, breaking the skin all over his hands, face, body. It's like going through a paper shredder. But he said he didn't even feel pain in the moment. The only thought being, I have to escape this hell no matter what. There is no other way. I have to escape this hell. He drops down on the other side. He made it. This is freedom. He made it past the walls. And then click. It's the sound of a gun right behind him. Put your hands up and don't move. He raises his bloody hands in the air and turns around. It's a uniformed man holding a gun up to him. He's not wearing a blue tracksuit. He's wearing a military outfit. A soldier. Jung had been so desperate, honestly, nobody knows how long he ran for. He doesn't even remember. But he ran for so long, he ran directly into a military base. Sneaking into a military base, to him, still can't be worse than being stuck at brother's home, right?
Sure.
I mean, that's what he thinks. He begs them to save him because all the other people that make it past the walls, if you're wearing the blue tracksuit, you're just brought immediately back in. You're seen almost like an escaped prisoner. And he begs the soldiers to save him, or better yet, don't save me. Don't do anything. Just let me go. I won't tell anyone. The soldiers load him up to a car, and he's just begging, please, sir, help me. Please, sir, help me. The door to the soldier's car opens. They throw him out, and then they throw something into his hands. It's a big loaf of bread.
But they actually helped him.
On the road, on the street. He's not back at brother's home. He's free. With
Holy
that, the car
shit.
just drives off.
Wow.
And they fed him.
So they kind of saved him?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They could have sent
Wow.
him back. I don't think that they knew anything of the true torture of what was going on at brother's home, but they had a lot more mercy than the guards at brother's home, clearly.
Yeah, I was thinking the place was like surrounded by a military base for like this exact reason, but wow. I love rhyming up podcasts. Yeah, we do here too as well. Yeah, you're in the right place then for sure. It's humid there. You'd sweat into those cuts. Yeah, man, it's no joke. Adrenaline's a powerful numbing drug. We were watching like cartel videos that she did last time, and I remember seeing my own cartel videos where like they would pump people full of adrenaline while torturing them so they couldn't like pass out from the pain. It's no joke. That is mercy compared to Brother's Home. Oh, it's beyond mercy. Yeah, to me, mercy would have been shooting him in the head instead of fucking setting him back. That would be mercy for me personally. But letting him go free and giving him the bread. You need to take that fucking jumpsuit off, but you probably are naked under it. So now you're just running around in this bright blue jumpsuit, which is not much better. I mean, it's not going to be easy to get away though. So hopefully, well, we'll see.
They just thought if this guy doesn't want to go back that much, that he's begging and crying
be a
and
reason.
willing to climb over a barbed wired fence,
Yeah.
maybe he doesn't want to go back.
Yeah.
It's an even more complicated feeling though, because at first Jung said it feels very surreal. He escaped, he's free. But then he starts panicking. His dad is still there. But he also starts panicking more because he realizes, what is he going to do? Call the cops and tell them that his
Right,
dad
they're
is
the
in
ones who
brother's home? It's not
fucking
like he can
did
tell the
it.
police. The police are the one that took them in.
Yep.
There's nobody that he can trust. He was only ever taught, ever since he was a little kid, hey, when you're in danger,
That's true, he was
report
just a
it to the
kid,
police
yeah.
station and ask the police for help. Now what? Jung decides if he's going to get his dad out, he still has to try and survive until then. He finds, ironically, a newspaper distribution center. He starts working there, sleeping there, eating there, and then one day the cops barge in and they take him in. They arrest him.
Why?
One of the neighbors reported a vagrant was living at the distribution center.
What?
They arrested him for being a vagrant. And just like in season 2 of Squid Games, just like Ki-hoon, the main character,
He's right
when
back.
Jung opens his eyes, he's back in a blue tracksuit in a
Jesus
bunk bed
Christ.
at the brother's home.
You are kidding me.
Yeah.
How long was he out?
A few months. But he's
Months.
a lot more bloodier now from all the beatings from running away. He said in that moment, he realized, I'm never going to get out of here. I'm never going to get out of here, at least alive. Another survivor says, as you keep getting beaten up, you just give up. The end of all this waiting, you think you're waiting to escape.
That's the
end of all of
point.
it is
It's to
just
break
death.
everybody's
There's nothing
wills.
to wait for except the day that you die. Nobody's coming
Christ.
to save you.
Wait, so this was okay. They started this whole initiative for the Olympic, right?
Beautiful.
It was prior
It's so
to the
dumb.
Olympics, but they amped it up, and the government started pouring more money into these welfare centers prior to the Olympics. But the
Right.
initiative started years before.
Years before.
Yes.
Okay.
So meanwhile, when this happened, like he's now it's what like 3 years into this.
Yes.
Has the Olympics started yet or after? Like the,
Oh, it's after. I mean, even after, they're still taking people.
Oh, this is post Olympics already.
Oh, so now it's like they don't need to
No.
like put on anything for the tourism. They're still taking people on from the streets.
Yes.
Good question as always,
Wow,
dude.
okay.
Han and his older sister, the one
Wow. Yeah, people say he's just around to say bada bing, bada boom or whatever in the beginning, but like, no, he's really good. He asks a lot of good questions. Right. It was posed as like, oh, for the beautification to make Korea look good during the Olympics, but now it's still happening. So like, why? Like, why?
one who wrote the book, Han, they're dragged to the police station by their dad. Their dad's always been very irresponsible when he's drunk, but it never was like this bad. There were beatings here and there, but this felt very different. He drags them to the police station. Stay here, Dad will be back. In theory, this is the best place for their dad to leave them. In reality, this is the worst place for their dad to leave them. Because remember, the police are the ones taking them in. Han is 9. He says, my dad told us to wait at the police station for him. He promised he would come back and get us. The police
Why-
don't care.
Why did the dad left him there?
It's unclear if he was trying to abandon his kids because it was too much responsibility, or whether he was in some sort of trouble and he wouldn't be home for a few days, and it'd be better to leave his kids at a police station than to leave them alone.
So the father doesn't know.
He has no clue that Brother's Home is a torturous place, or that they're even going to get sent to Brother's Home. He thinks they're going to be there when he gets back.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, the Korean police stations are a little bit different. So in Korea, there's even things like police boxes. It's like a little box. Police officers are stationed in neighborhoods, and
Yeah.
they're part of the community. You don't really see them as like a cop.
Yeah, like a security. You can
Yes,
talk
yes.
to.
Okay.
So it's a little more communal. And he thought, okay, they'll be here when I get back if I do decide to come back for them. The police don't care. They throw the two, Han and his sister, into the back of the refrigerated windowless van. They drive them to Brother's Home.
Wait, so Han has a sister, older or younger?
Older sister. She's 12. He's 9.
Okay.
And in the van, Han says, I started crying. I was asking to be let out and to be able to go home. For a moment, I remember the sky turning completely white. I heard a noise like cicadas were embedded, stuck inside my ears. And then the stars were going around my eyes. And then once that gradually faded, I realized that man just slapped me so hard, I almost lost consciousness.
Jeez.
I looked around the van. Only then did I realize there were about 5 other kids our age in the car, besides the stranger.
As I said before, all you saw was eyes. It was so dark in there. They weren't even sure there was other kids in there. They mentioned that last time too. How is it unclear for a drunk, abusive father leaving them somewhere and saying, I'll be back, and then dipping without another word? That's abandoning. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to argue with you. Yeah.
And that's how I ended up at Brother's Home. Han, just like the others, he has to go through all the survival games, which consist of very creative ways to just torture everyone in blue tracksuits. The guards just torture thousands of people. And like I said, some of them are as young as 4. Some of them are elderly people. The torture is non-discriminatory. Everybody's getting tortured. And the torture doesn't even end with the twisted activities. This whole place is almost manufactured to make every aspect of the day feel like walking on glass shards that have been heated to be 100 degrees. There are 2 time slots for food for the day. Designated time slots. There is exactly 30 minutes to eat, which sounds like more than enough time until you realize there's 3,500 people who have 30 minutes to eat. Everyone only has about 3.5 minutes to grab their food, sit down, inhale it before getting up for the next people to sit down. You always hear, first X number of people, go, go, go. People are getting smacked and beaten up if they're not eating fast enough. The first few meal times are said to be the hardest because it's hard to even swallow the food that they're giving you, let alone do it in 3.5 minutes, just shoveling it in. You would spend at least the greater chunk of that time just gagging. The food is almost always the same. It's rotten rice. So the rice, they leave it in these damp containers and they become moldy, and there's those rice bugs everywhere. They don't rinse the rice. They don't get rid of the bugs. They just steam it just like that. Fermented fish, but the fish is always rotten, and it's fermented without seasonings. There's fermented cabbage, but there's no red pepper flakes to make the kimchi, so it's just salt sprinkled kimchi, diced radish kimchi. There would be some soup on some days, but it would just be water with nasty oil floating around and then little radishes just floating around. It is not only a nutritionless meal, every single ingredient is moldy, spoiled, and to the point that it was almost decaying. And they just slop it all together in water, cook it into a fermented rotten stew, and serve it with rotten, molded, unwashed rice steamed to food poisoning perfection. Even if you can stand the taste and digestion of the decaying food, there's still not enough food given to you to fill your stomach. Everyone in there is starving at all times of the day. Everybody is malnourished. And that's when you find out things that you never really think you would ever find out. Han says he has a lot of knowledge that most people probably don't have. For example, if you eat too many pine cones or pine needles, you get diarrhea and you're going to vomit for days.
Yeah, that's something you would never. That's definitely something you would never fucking know unless you put through that. Jesus Christ. No wonder they're gagging. The smell must have been awful. I had to go back. Can you imagine? Yeah, it's literally killing them with food. Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%. So you either starve to death or they have to eat food that's going to make them sick anyway.
He
Jesus.
says, well, you can pick the pine cones, peel off the outer layer with your teeth, and then chew on the white part inside, kind of like an artichoke. You can't really swallow it, but you can at least feel like you're eating something.
I do like an artichoke.
Or if you have the chance, you can catch and eat centipedes. It will feel like the most nutrient-dense meal at the Brothers' home.
It's a lot of protein. Another one she mentioned the last one was that like they learned that like because what do they got like newspaper to like wipe themselves with like for the bathroom, and they learned that like if you rub the newspaper for a long time it becomes soft, and then you can kind of use it like toilet paper. Just like bad things you do learn when like trying to survive.
It's hard to say which part of that is worse. Is it the torture games? Is it the food? Or is it that nonstop itch that you feel on every part of your body that makes you want to scrape your skin off, but you can't because the minute that your skin breaks, there's just pus oozing out. Ugh. Almost every single person in Brothers' home has a severe skin disease. Most of them have severe eczema and their skin is just raw. It's throbbing. It feels like there's a heartbeat under every part of their skin. Every single day, without fail, regardless, it feels like their skin is about to slop off. They're forced to scrub themselves on this sensitive skin with coarse salt. During the winter, the ice-cold water combined with the salt is so unbearable, everyone avoids washing at all. Han writes in his book, many of us had skin diseases because we also shared blankets. And, hygiene was poor. Everybody's skin was always leaking pus and blood. And it's now being rubbed all over everybody else under the blankets and the shavings. And at night, when you think, okay, maybe I'm getting used to the itch of this eczema itch and
no, it's impossible.
These dry, open, raw wounds scraped with salt, just when you think you're used to it. At night, there's you hear a lot of smacking sounds in Brothers' home at night. They're light smacking sounds because you can't be too loud. A slap helps more than a scratch. Maybe it's in your head because you think the lice are dying from each smack. It's the intense, inescapable itch of pubic lice. Even if you think the itch is bearable, it's the type of crawling sensation down there that makes you feel like there are 1,000 little bugs crawling over you. It feels like they're trying to crawl inside of you.
Yeah.
Lice. The only chance of getting rid of the lice is once a week, you get a hot water bath for 2 seconds.
That's not going to do it, yeah.
It's the only time to try and get rid of all the foreign friends.
Dude, I remember I'm thinking like, you ever have sunburn, like really bad sunburn? And you can't sleep because like it just randomly itches like here and there, like throughout the night. And that's like nothing compared to like actual bugs. That is like the worst fucking. It happened to me when I was on a cruise last year. I got bad sunburn. And I just like, it's not a constant itch, but every so often it's like a pinch. And it just like, you can never sleep with it. You know what I'm talking about? Not a good comparison, I guess. But I'm just trying to like compare it. Like, I know how bad that sucked. And that was like a little bit of sunburn, not actual bugs. And I looked it up, but eating large amounts of moldy food can actually kill you. So of course it can. So that means that people could have straight up died from eating moldy, rotten food for how long they have. Yeah, and they don't really give a fuck. I'm almost more surprised that they're keeping these people in camps rather than just killing them. You know, it would cost less money and less time. So, like, again, what's the end game here, right? Because why not just exterminate them? Which is horrible to say, but you know what I'm saying. Why just put them to torture? I wonder, like, what? I used to get random hives when trying to sleep when I was doing chemo. It made sleep impossible. Yeah, I can't imagine what that's like. I'm surprised no one had scabies. Oh, I'm sure there's scabies going around. She just didn't say it. I'm sure there is.
It also doesn't help that you only have 2 pairs of clothes, the 2 blue tracksuits, which, by the way, they're so crazy about everyone being uniform. A lot of people say it felt like North Korea in there because it doesn't even make sense why the uniformity was so important.
Yeah.
Even if the zipper is broken and can't be zipped up, if the uniform requires it to be zipped up, you have to find a way to get it to stay closed. Otherwise, you will be beaten to death. 600 people died in here, at least. Han says it doesn't matter.
Surprised
If
it's
your
not
pants
more.
are, the waistband stretches out, you have to find a way to tie it with no supplies. Because, yeah, your pants falling down, sure, in front of 4,000 people, it's a little embarrassing, but you're going to get beaten. Everyone's
Yeah.
fingernails look like they've been gnawed off by rats. They're
I need you to put on eye tracking for this. Are you just staring at her? She's very pretty. What am I supposed to look at? Miak, what? Hi, Journey, by the way. What do you want me to say? What am I supposed to do like this? Oh wow, good video. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's terrible. Where else are you supposed to look, Miyaki? I wonder your thoughts on what she's saying. I give them. Yeah, look at her. Do you blame me? She's distracting. Yeah, bad take, Miyaki. Bad take.
always trimmed
El
incredibly
Miyaki,
short.
guys.
There are only 5 nail clippers for the whole place. But if you have long nails, you get beat. So everybody just chews off their nails. But there's no money in the torture itself. Because that's what doesn't make sense.
That's what I just
Who
said.
is funding the brothers' home? Why does
That's what I said, Miyaki. You like my commentary? That's what I said.
it exist? So if the government funds brothers' home and every quote unquote vagrant that gets brought in, there's government subsidies. The people who run brothers' home, they get paid per person per day. But that's not where the real money is. Okay, so a few years ago, there was a story that a good chunk of the prison population in China don't have fingernails.
You're talking about today?
Yes.
Oh.
You know,
Don't
it's
have
like a whole thing.
fingernails.
Everyone's like, where are their fingernails going? Are they chewing them off? Are they being ripped off? Like, why don't they have fingernails? Are there certain conditions inside the prisons where their
They don't
fingernails
grow?
just fall off? What's
Right.
going on? They do some investigating. And a lot of the American consumption of pre-peeled garlic is peeled in Chinese prisons. So a lot of these people, they would say, you try to, because you have to meet a quota every single month. You have to peel enough garlic slices. And garlic has certain compounds where if you keep peeling them, your fingernails pop off.
What?
Okay.
I
And
don't
it's
know
not
that.
just China, but incarcerated workers produce over $2 billion worth of goods annually. Even in the US, about 2/3 of the prison population work. And a lot of them, for some weird reason, are in the food industry. The prison complex and the agricultural business are like hand in hand.
So they're working, you're saying?
Yes. And they're getting paid like 20 cents a day.
Are you talking about Brothers Home? Or
Yes, everywhere. So in US
yeah.
prisons, they're working. In prisons across the world, they're working. And then
Yeah.
in Brothers Home is this crazy trickle of money. The facility gets paid by the government just for housing the vagrants. But Brothers Home is like, why don't we make more money? Because what are they doing all day?
It doesn't grow back. I mean, if you had to do it every day, it would never have a chance to grow back, right? Enjoy your lurk cake.
That we have laying around. Let's have them work. Toys, children's toys, stationery, baby shoes, toothpicks. That's what they're making. Never ending cycle.
Right. So
One
it's slave
survivor
labor,
says,
yeah.
if the overall production target wasn't met,
Jesus.
they would stop all the work. They would send the workers out into the field and they would beat us one by one mercilessly.
At least real
with these
prisoners get
giant
paid a little
pliers
bit.
and hammers
At least
on
for
the
food
inner
and
thighs.
side.
Your inner thighs would be all bruised, and my only thought at work
Inner
was,
thighs.
I must not get hit. The worst part was a lot of the kids worked in fishing hook factories. They have to make fishing hooks.
Where'd that random blonde kid come from? They got one whitey in there? Self-insert character.
A lot of the kids worked in fishing hook factories. They have to make fishing hooks.
So these factories, oh, is that what those 60 buildings are?
Yes.
Just different factories.
Different factories and different warehouses to house these people. They have a church on the premises. They have a medical unit, which just consists of they rip you open and pour salt into your wound and rub it around. They have a psych ward. The government wants to get paid for these
Yeah,
people.
I'm sure
but
that's
you
a good
can't
thing,
beat
yeah.
them into submission. A lot of them have really lost their minds in there.
진짜 정신병자 정신병자가
Ended up becoming a real psychotic patient.
So they just throw them into the psych ward where they drug them nonstop and they just
Yeah,
get
maybe I'll
insane
buy now. I'll
and
buy now.
abused.
Do you know if this facility is still around today or they've...
No, it has been replaced by apartment buildings.
Wow.
Yes, because back then Busan was not as it wasn't that big of a city. I mean, it was, but it wasn't what it is now.
Wow.
Yeah. So the worst for the children, though, is this one factory where you make fishing hooks. They say when you work that quickly making fishing hooks, the
You
hook
gotta
gets
stab
stuck
yourself.
under your
Yeah,
fingernails.
of course. Yeah.
And the purpose of a fishing hook is not release whatever it's latched onto.
Yeah.
So when you work quickly, the hooks get stuck, and
Yep.
when you pull it out, your nail gets pulled out as well.
Ugh.
You have to tear the flesh to get them out. They say you rip off your own fingernails to get the hooks out because you can't work and produce when you have fishing hooks. stuck
Right. It's
onto your
easier
fingernails.
not to have the nails.
There's not even time to think about what you're doing. It's just constant thoughts of, if I don't do this, the beating is going to be worse than this.
Right. It's easier just not to
Keep
have the
working
nails.
faster and faster. One survivor says, the day starts at 5. We make our beds. We have to do that in 5 seconds, very quickly, like the military. If not, you're going to get beaten by the guard the first thing in the morning. Then they do roll call. Then you go outside. Then you do the washroom with just salt. 3 seconds of water, salt for
Salt.
face wash, salt as toothpaste. Then you have to sing the military anthem. And one of the survivors says, I don't understand the point in that. If we were not in sync, we were beat. It just didn't
It's just
make any
about
sense what
control.
the point was.
It's just
not
about-
even a real military.
Beating them down.
Then they would be sent off to the
Make
factories.
them comply.
A survivor states they force people to work in factories to produce products, and then those products would be sold to the public. The facility pocketed money from the products as well as benefiting from the free labor, as well as getting paid government subsidies. Another survivor states, after all of that, 14 and 15-year-olds were forced to carry sacks that weighed 60 pounds back and forth for construction to happen. All those buildings
Oh, they're building it too, huh?
were built by them.
Wow.
It was a
They're
nightmare.
building their
If
own prison.
the children were unable to keep up, they would get beat.
Think about
so
that.
the kids avoid getting beat. They're forced to work harder. The survival instinct would kick in, and it was astonishingly painful. They were forced to build the wall even that held them prisoner, the giant 30-foot wall that made it nearly impossible to escape. They were forced to build it. They say to build this wall, you have to carry up stones. One of the adults in front of me became exhausted and sat down for a moment to rest. The guard on site smashed the man's head with a wooden bat, and he died on the spot. Yeah, that was the first death that this survivor witnessed. It wouldn't be the last. But because it was the first, he said he was so consumed with fear he couldn't eat or sleep for the next few days. And in Squid Games, there's this subplot. I'm sure you guys have all watched season 1, and even if you haven't watched season 2, the subplot is continuing. We don't really know how it's going to resolve yet, so I don't know if this is a spoiler, but there is a subplot of the guards, the pink uniform wearing guards in Squid Games. They will take the bodies that they've shot down, the losers of the game, if you will, and they're supposed to shoot them dead. But instead of killing them, they immobilize them. Then they take them into this little bunker where a doctor shows up to try and sell the organs, take out the organs. It's very fascinating, the levels of profit. So the VIP clients, they get their entertainment out of these people dying,
What should they
out of
pay?
watching them kill each other for survival and for money. That's their entertainment. To the guards that are one step above the contestants, they take advantage of the contestants by, in death, selling their organs and profiting. The same goes for Brothers Home.
Right, that's my question. Why are they so evil? Like
Yes.
you don't. Yeah, okay.
The facility will continue to profit even if the victims die. One survivor whose sole job was to clean up messes, particularly the messes of people who were escaped, recaptured, and beaten. He says, my job was to clean up after them. But how? How do I clean it up wiping away the bloodstains, cleaning up the aftermath. I mean, I saw people all laying there on the floor with their eyes wide open. They were dead. The total number of people that died is said to be around 551, but it's likely that the numbers are far higher than that.
Yeah, there's no
One
way.
survivor
That's what
says,
we've reported.
there are so many graves there. If you look behind the church where the weeds grow thick, some days you would see mounds being made, just so many.
There's no
There's
way.
like a bathhouse there. Right in front of it is this incinerator. A lot of bones would come out of that incinerator. I remember a man named Kim. He was quite old at the time. This is a direct quote. He was carried into a secret guidance room. That's what they called it. That's where they would beat us into guidance, to listening to the guards better, not trying to escape. He was forced into that room and carried out. I watched. He was dead. He died from beating, but I was told everyone would just report it as some sort of natural illness as his cause of death, and that sometimes, if the beating scars aren't that bad, they would sell them for medical studies. They would body farm. They
Yeah.
would sell the bodies.
Just like squeaking.
Yes. One survivor states, yeah, I mean, if the bodies weren't needed, the guards would carry it up to the church at dawn and to the mass graves. One victim states, people were starved, beaten, and killed, and their deaths were never reported. They just buried them or sold them. All the kids are freezing. That's like a huge thing. All the survivors mention over and over again, you don't understand the winters in this place. You don't understand how cold it gets when there's snow falling everywhere and you're shivering to the bone. Your lips are constantly bleeding because you're so dry. It is miserable. Some people had frostbitten toes that had to be amputated. And then what do they do after they amputate it? They just rub salt on it. They said it's that bad underneath the facility.
Concerning dating is thank you for the follow. Welcome to New York City.
There's this little warehouse storage room, and
Welcome
it's
in, welcome in.
filled to the brim with clothes.
Like uniforms? Or, oh,
Better clothes.
they're making.
No.
What?
Okay, so remember how I said this is not a cult story? So why do they have this giant church? Is it just because one of the leaders, like one of the facility owners, is religious? No, because religion is used to reel in donations for Brothers Home. From the outside, Brothers Home is a very legitimate welfare center. They're actually the biggest welfare center that is funded by the government. And now they're going to ask for donations from people around the world. The director of Brothers Home was
See, remember I asked, I was like, how do people, what do the outsiders think is going on there? I think if you guys watched the last stream or the Watch YouTube video, yeah, I said the same thing. Like, okay, but like, what does the town think? Like this whole big infrastructure in the middle of the town, like, what do they think is going on there? And they're posing it as like this big positive thing they're doing. That's as if it wasn't already fucked up enough, but Jesus Christ.
smart. He did not care for Jesus, not even one bit. He's not a religious man. But Survivor said they used religion to add more money to their business. If there's no religion involved in their center, who would donate money? It's a government-funded facility. But you tell people, I'm Christian. I'm a Christian doing good things. I need donation money. Donation money from foreigners would flood in. They would donate just cases of clothes. And the kids were forced to write thank you notes to all the donors because you need it in childish handwriting.
Right.
This is crazy.
Sometimes they would have American donors stop by that work with like adoption agencies in America or even big churches in America.
Not
They would
us.
fly to Korea to visit Brothers Home. And everyone would prepare for months. The kids would put on plays. They would dance around. They'd be
No
forced to do all
way.
these things. And then once they leave, they have to give everything back.
Wow.
The basement would be filled with those donated clothes and they would sell them. Another layer of profit.
Jesus. They're
Sold
making
to
money
the
on
local
every
business.
end.
This one odd time, a bunch of donors donated a bunch of cattle to be used for consumption. And Han said they took the cow and paraded it around the field, taking pictures with all of us, smiling with the cow, and showed it off. And everybody was so happy, thinking we would get beef bone soup or something the next day. And the next day, it was just rotten oil broth. No beef. They took the cows to the market to be sold. But the worst part for 9-year-old Han is not even the fact that he's not drinking beef bone soup. It's the fact that he was taken with his 12-year-old sister, and his older sister keeps trying to escape with him. Every single time she stands in the field, she would sprint towards him, ready to escape with him. But she has no plan. She has no plan. She would just try to grab his hand and say, I'm going to protect you. Let's go. We're going to go home.
Where are they going?
And every time she would get slammed down onto the ground and beaten in front of Han.
Jesus.
He says the beatings, torture, and punishments, it wouldn't stop her from getting to me. Han says about his sister, you know, my older sister was especially smart. So our researchers actually met Han and his older sister.
Wow.
They left like a video message for us as well, but he says his older sister is especially smart and capable, which our researchers actually noted, and we'll talk about that
9
in
years
part
old.
3. She's like the only blood relative that taught Han anything, because they're poor village kids. He doesn't know how to write. She would teach him. And then on their way home one day, this is when they were free, he saw this Targona cart. Oh, it's just all full circle. Okay, he sees this Targona cart, the candy cart. And he's like, sister, can I get a Targona? And she doesn't have money. So she says, you know what? I'm going to go home and I'm going to make it for you. He says, my sister put a ladle on the briquette stove. It was her first time doing this. She poured in sugar, added a little bit of soda, and she was about to complete the Targona with the chopsticks when I kept pushing on her and like dragging her shirt saying, can you hurry? I really want Targona. And she dropped the ladle. It fell all over her foot. She has a severe burn because the sugar crystallizes and it sticks to you.
Right. It's like
all over her
napalm.
foot. He says, I still remember that incident. And when their dad, who both of them thought was very scary, he would come home and ask, Shine, what happened to your foot? And she would quickly respond, I dropped a pot while I was making soup. Don't worry about it. Han says his sister was always somebody that protected him. And even now, she keeps trying to protect him by having them escape. But all that's happening is she keeps getting beat over and over again. She would run to him in the cafeteria trying to hug him. Father's going to come find us, okay? Don't be scared. Father's going to come find us. He says, you can't imagine how difficult it was to look at each other in that atmosphere of fear. Rather than being a source of support or comfort for each other, it just became more painful. I lived witnessing my sister gradually losing her mind. Okay, so in the book, it's very explicit, but I think he would rather it not be explicit. So Han mentions that people from his sister's platoon would come to him and report back the types of torture that were inflicted on her because she tried to save her brother. And the types of torture, you can imagine what they are,
Right.
especially being a woman in a vicinity like this.
Yep.
In some sick, twisted way, some of the kids would even taunt him about it. He said, I lived witnessing my sister gradually losing her mind. First, it was just this panic of, we got to get out of here. I'm going to help us escape. And then slowly, she would start
Huey and Mizu, thank you for the follow. Welcome to
the walls. She would do anything. It doesn't matter. She wouldn't feel her own pain of being beat. When Han got beat on the field, she would run and cover his body with her own. And it would just result in both of them getting beat. And her torture was, I mean, both of them were essayed during their time there, but it was just really bad. He says, I lived witnessing my sister gradually losing her mind. If she had been completely out of my sight, I might have forgotten her existence entirely. But because she was next to me,
Right, you
for
saw
3
it
years
all.
and 6 months, I witnessed everything, and I
It's almost
can't forget
worse
it.
that way. No, no.
Every time his sister would be in the field, the
I didn't expect the alert to be like that. Sorry for the distraction. No, it's my alert. Don't worry. That's okay. We like the alert. Don't worry. It breaks up the heaviness. Don't worry. But yeah, I want that. Yeah, follow me. Welcome in, by the way. You're great.
guards would laugh. The weirdo's coming again. She's starting again. And without fail, when Han would look, it would be his sister running towards him, trying to help him escape. And the guards that were laughing, 2 seconds ago, suddenly they yank her down by the hair as she rushes towards him, throws her onto the ground, and drags her away forcibly to torture her. Eventually, she was taken to the psych ward where Han would climb the window just to see her. There was a few platoon leaders that he liked, like the guards, where they were tall and they would let him climb on top of their shoulders to see in through the window just to see himself.
Raccoons for president. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to New York City. I like your name a lot. It's really solid.
Sister, and he thought maybe if she sees my face, she'll get better and she won't lose her mind and she'll realize, okay, I gotta get out of here strong. But when he looks into
Of course,
the room,
Mizu.
she doesn't even recognize him because She is not there. They have her on they have her on antipsychotics that she does not need, on high doses every single day. She's in a daze. She just has a glaze. It's like they're zombies. That's how they describe them. He says, every time I went to check on my sister to see if she was ever getting better, she was always laying down with her hands tied. There was nothing I could do for my sister. All I could do every day was pray that my father would come and save us.
Oh my gosh.
He says his biggest regret was before she was taken to the psych ward, one of the leaders was beating his sister, the guard, and they told Han, I'm not going to stop until you repeat after me. Don't come find me, you stupid. And they would make Han repeat it over and over again because he wasn't saying it with conviction, obviously.
Right.
And he's just crying as he's screaming at his sister, and she's on the ground, and she still tries to come save him the next day. Then one day, Han hears a voice that he recognizes behind him. Have you been well? And he freezes.
Jesus Christ.
He can't even turn around.
Who's running around
How's your
this?
sister doing?
Oh,
It's his dad.
fuck.
He's in a tracksuit too.
Just like Jung's dad,
God
Han's
damn it.
dad is in a suit, a tracksuit.
Whole fucking family.
Han writes in his book, I tasted despair. I hated my father to death because he dropped them off at the police station.
Right. Yeah, he's the one who left them in the first place. Holy shit. Whoa.
And he was never particularly the best father even prior. He said the thought that I could never escape this place now tormented me. And now this man is wondering, how's your sister doing? Han scoffs. She's gone. She's no longer there. Seeing his dad, Han said he just had this overwhelming feeling. And these were the words that kept repeating in his mind while he was in the welfare center, which is, with a knife, with a knife. He didn't know what it meant. It was just always, with a knife. I'm gonna do it with a knife, with a knife. The next time Han would ever see his dad outside of Brother's home, he would have a knife in his pocket, ready to kill him.
Yep.
That is part 2 of Squid Games, the real story behind Squid Games.
My God.
Part 3, we will tell you what happened to Han and Han's sister, Han's dad, as well as all the other victims who were outside of the National Assembly, and also the family who does not get punished and are in Australia living as millionaires. So stay tuned for part 3. Leave your thoughts in the comments and stay safe. I'll see you in the next one.
Wait, the people that were running it are still out? Like, they're fine? What? This is the real life Squid Game, right? Yeah, it is raccoons. Yeah, welcome in, guys. Jesus Christ. I can't wait for part 3. She put up part 2 really quickly, so maybe by next week we can watch it. I'm reminded of I know like Holocaust survivors. So like when like the Americans and whoever else came and like saved the Holocaust, like the people in the Holocaust or whatever, they brought all this food, right? Tons and tons of food for them to eat. And the prisoners were so hungry, they were all starved. They all started like scarfing down all the food, of course. And a lot of them died from like their stomachs basically exploding. Something she said earlier, like it reminded me of that, but I didn't want to cut it off to like make like a Holocaust like comparison. But that's just like a side note. But I guess I was thinking I was thinking like, you know, these people are out now. Like I'm wondering what freedom was like when it was over. Like, did they get some kind of like compensation or like help with housing or like anything? That's what I'm thinking. Like now, because you see they're out, right? But it doesn't necessarily look like they're living like kings or anything, right? So like I wonder what it was like when they finally got out. Yeah, you can't just eat normally after being starved during term. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can die. A lot of the people in the Holocaust died. Like, which is so sad. Like you're saved and just excited to eat and all this stuff, and then you end up dying. It's like, imagine. Yeah, man, that's part 2. Jesus Christ, man. So much of this stuff is like it has to be. They had clearly the people who did Squid Game like read the book. It's like got even the candy, the suits, everything clearly. But my God, dude. Yeah, man. That's part 2. That's crazy. What are you guys thinking? You guys want to watch another one? I also have Mouthwashing, which I never played. So I also kind of want to play. I'll let you guys choose. We'll put a poll up. Oops. Poll. What do next? Another rotten mango. Less awful mango. Play mouthwashing. I'm gonna do like a 5-minute poll. I'm gonna pee in the meantime. That's my plan. I'm happy to watch whatever you want to do too. I appreciate you. Thank you, Mizu. Welcome in, by the way. Yeah, sorry. I know when we're in the middle of like watching these, it's like hard for me to like talk because I don't want to like pause over it too much, especially because like I record them for YouTube, so I don't want to like. Obviously, we're gonna talk, but I also don't want to like constantly stop to be like, you know. In Brother's Home, it's not just starvation they dealt with. I can only imagine the recovery of this because not only is it physical trauma with the beating, the extra dark stuff, and drugs, but also psychological and emotional from it all. 100%. Which in a lot of ways is worse. You know, like how do you ever come back like to normal after that? Like, what is zero? Like, how do you come back to being normal? Like, nothing's normal anymore. It's not a dude who's like, all right, I'm free and go back to normal life now. You know. You guys love rotten mango, dude. You guys love it, man. So do I. I feel like every time I do a poll, it's like, yeah, watch another one. Okay, watch it. You guys eat this shit up, man. All right. In the meantime, I'm gonna pee. I'll be right back. I'll take like a 3-minute break. Okay. I'm either gonna go to BRB. Actually, I'll go to BRB. Can't run an ad because an ad was too recent, but it's good content. It's really good. No, it's the best. There's a reason why. Yeah, it's fantastic. But yeah, I'll be right back, guys. 3 minutes. Okay. Who did I miss? I heard it. Mocha, etc. Thank you for the. I assume it's etc. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to Neo City. Once again, if you guys are new and you don't follow me on YouTube, you should follow me on YouTube because I'm pushing YouTube. And then if you missed one of my streams and we watch Rotten Mango, I upload the Rotten Mango video reactions on stream. The end. That's my pitch. That I do. Pretty good, right? All right. Which one do you guys want to watch, though? Let's see what we got. Okay, we have. I'm not tired. You're tired. Okay. Let's see. No yawning? I'm not yawning. I was like, yeah, this horrible thing happened. These people all died, and it was the worst thing ever. And I'm like, yeah, well. Ow. Okay. Yep. Ow. Oh. Okay. Yep. Ow. Okay. That was. Ow. This is always the hard part. The whole hitting rhyme again? Yeah, well, it seems like you wanted to catch him, so I don't know what to tell you. Okay? Not very nice. What, Sean? If you guys see one, you want to right? I watch. Sorry. I like the length of that one. It was nice. It wasn't like too long. I lure him away with souls. What makes you think he eats souls? He would like that though, but still. What about giggly baby face killer shows high school friend corpse asking, "Are you squeamish around?" I kind of want to watch this one. How do you guys feel about this one? Oh, you eat souls. Giggly babyface killer shows his high school friend corpse asking, "Are you squeamish around dead bodies?" Yeah, but is he the one who killed? Oh, killer, yeah. You guys want to watch that one? That one kind of sounds interesting. That sounds fucked up. I'm down. All right. Okay, we're gonna watch our next Rotten Mango video. It's gonna be this one with this yee-ass looking fucking haircut kid. Giggly babyface killer shows his high school friend corpse asking, "Are you squeamish around dead bodies?" I don't know. I'd probably kill somebody if I got a haircut like that too. Bowl cut ass bitch. But let's see what happened here. Bada bing, bada boom. Yes, looking fucking bowl cut ass bitch. Killing people. Alright.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Some friend groups have tiers for emergencies.
Oh, she looked mad good today.
One friend group said online they have specific codes, like the cops do for their emergencies. 971 is, "It's urgent. I'm at the store. I'm trying on an outfit and I'm waiting in the changing room while there's a line forming outside to see if I should buy these clothes and you need to help me." 951 is, "You just found out that the person you went on 2 dates with has a full-blown family." 911 is, "You just found out that your dad has a side full-blown secret family."
My dad had a whole side family. That's lore. That's real. That did happen. My dad had a whole other family. Wait, pause. Why am I pausing, Gosu? Hurry up. We're watching. We're making a YouTube video here, and you got us pausing. What's up? Hi, Raven. Welcome in. Discord. Okay, but
Obviously,
it
those are
needs
very
the
extreme
text though.
examples, and I'm sure it doesn't apply to high schoolers.
That is very funny. Thank you, dude. Love Mango. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to New York City. I wonder how you ended up here. Love mango. A man, or you love mango. It's one or the other. You either love mango or you love mango. So I don't know which one it is.
That Carly hangs out with all had their little emergency system. And that is to basically just mass text all of their friends telling them, my life is falling apart. You need to help me. End quote. I fucked up. March 19th, 2024, that's exactly what 14-year-old Carly Gregg texts all her friends after school one day, and they start panicking. Recently, Carly had just been all over the place. She's been drinking Germex, the hand sanitizer. Technically, the whole thing was a prank. They were like, hey, I dare you to drink the hand sanitizer as a joke. At least it was supposed to be a joke, but then she actually drank it.
What?
Yeah, and there was that incident where she brought a knife to school and then she stole the exam answers off the teacher's desk. If she's saying this is an emergency now, it's probably very serious. What's going on? Carly responds, I fucked up. I need help. I need help. When one of her friends asks, why? I can't tell you why. Another guy friend asks, should I call 911? To which Carly responds, you can't do that. One friend hops up on his bike and starts making his way over. Another friend,
What? That'll kill you? What, drinking hand sanitizer? A lot of alcoholics do it. Not a lot of alcoholics do it, but they do it when they can't, if they can't get. I'm talking about like crackhead level alcoholics, not fucking, not just I drive my friends' kids to work. I mean, drive my son and all his friends to school while I drink in the car. Alcoholic. That's another true story. Not my family, but I did get driven to school one time by my friend's mom, and she was drinking in the car, like vodka in the car. I also used to work with this lady, and before work or shift, we would all like park in the parking lot, and I would see her drinking like a thing of vodka before every shift. But she was a great worker, and she would be hammered every day, and all the fucking workers would be like, the bosses would be like, yeah, she's drunk, but she works great, so who cares? Like, there's forklifts around. This is not okay. Hi, Leaf. Welcome in. I love her videos. Hell yeah, me too. Welcome in, Azor. I came back with pretzels. I do love pretzels, dude. Yeah. Just mango? Okay, mango. I got you. Welcome in, mango.
She gets dropped off by her dad because this seems very serious. And when she gets to Carly Gregg's front door, Carly's standing there. She does not appear to be in the middle of an emergency. In fact, she seems calm. So what was all of that? Carly asks her, are you squeamish? I need you to not freak out. I'm not going to freak out. What's going on? You're not squeamish, right? Have you ever seen a dead body? Carly's friend shakes her head no, and Carly brings her into her bedroom where she looks down, and on the ground of 14-year-old Carly Gregg's bedroom is a dead body.
Whoa. Of who? Of what? How old? I have a million questions. I feel like Stephanie Sue's husband. Oh, I wish I was. But I feel like Stephanie Sue's husband, where I'm like, why? What happened? Yeah, wait, so you mean this? But when did that take place in regards to this? Don't LOL me. I know you agree.
Sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. They are volunteer-based and provide free medical care and humanitarian aid to thousands.
It'll destroy your liver and kidneys with the quickness.
This episode's
Oh, it's not what you want. Yeah.
Rotten Mango's growing
How's your
team,
night
and
going,
we'd also
Leif?
like to thank
How
you
are
guys
you?
for your continued support as we work on our mission to be worthy advocates. As always, full
Leif at the end of the last
stream.
stream
A quick disclaimer:
was sweet
the defendant
enough.
in today's case has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Was sweet enough to. Oh, it didn't come yet. I think it's shipping from like Germany. I'll show you guys after. Remind me. I'll show you after this because I don't want to like pause the video. But Leaf got me something really cool off my throne. I'll show you guys after. After we watch this, I'll show you guys.
Other doctors.
This is the beginning of the video. Yeah. That's what we were saying before. She always like starts off like in the middle of the story to get you like captivated, and then you're like, "What? I need to know more." And now we're gonna know more. Yeah, she's the best. She's the best. I thought I got here in the middle of one. No, it's perfect. Yeah, it's great.
Disagree with the diagnosis.
I'm doing
but
well,
just to be
Leaf.
clear, just because someone has a particular
No,
mental
it didn't
health
come yet. It
condition
didn't
does not
come yet,
automatically
Leaf.
make them violent. So with that being said,
It didn't come yet, but it
let's
did
get
ship.
into it.
It didn't
There's
come
a
yet.
part of trials that tends to go viral, and that's typically when defendants hear that
Make sure to pause before talking over Mango. Dude, for anyone who doesn't know what he's talking about, just real quick. On the last time I did one of my one of these videos, which one was it? Which one was it? Was it this one? My part one? Was it my part one? Oh, this one? Murders 90. Yeah. No, I can't find it now. But somebody bitching that I fucking talked over her during that part too. It wasn't even like, oh yeah. Talking over her the entire time is just disrespectful, unwatchable. And then we watched it, and I'm just like real quickly like, oh, I'm hungry, but I don't want to eat. And it was during like the advertisement part, which I always leave up because like I'm watching her videos, so I don't want to like skip over her advertisements when she has a sponsor. Like it's the right thing to do. And I'm luckily the other people in the thing were like shitting on them and being like, what the fuck do they want you to do? Not talk the entire time? Like, yeah, that's really good fucking transformative content. Anyway, sorry, just wanted to bring that up.
That they have been found guilty. In some cases, it might be just the raw human emotion. I mean, you're capturing this very intense, life-altering realization in real time. I mean, you witness a person processing the fact that their life as they knew it is effectively over. Maybe it's like a satisfying feeling you get as a viewer, knowing that justice has been served. And sometimes these guilty verdicts become much more intense when you factor in polling a jury. That's a thing. That's a thing, and it's quite brutal if you're found guilty of your charges. Because the judge
Real quick, which video is it under? I'll link it in the chat. I know I'm gonna get bitched out for pausing too much now. So
judge reads the final verdict of guilty, then they're gonna make you sit there while they ask each and every juror to respond to juror number 2, is that your verdict? Is that your verdict? 12 times you have to listen to, most likely in a guilty verdict, each juror reconfirm, yes, you are guilty. You will spend the rest of your life rotting in prison.
So polling a jury is just confirming.
Yes.
Double check. Okay.
It's not done in every case, but when it is done, it's pretty brutal.
But why do they do that?
One of the sides will request it in advance. So it takes enough time, and I think the repetitive nature of it, I think it really starts feeling emotionally volatile for some people. And there is nothing you can do but watch as your fate has been sealed. You can't beg the jurors to change their mind. You can't even talk to the judge. You also can't go and hug your family that's sitting behind you in court. You just sit there and you listen. For 15-year-old Carly, she has to sit there and listen to 36 different, is that your verdict? Yes, guilty.
As to count 1, we, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. Beginning on the first row, ma'am, is that your verdict? Sir, is that your verdict? Yes, sir. Ma'am, is that your verdict? Sir, is that your verdict? Ma'am, is that your verdict?
At first, with the judge reading guilty for her 3 crimes, she almost has no reaction. And then with each juror's confirmation, her face gets more red. It's getting scrunched up. She starts sobbing. And in the span of 5 minutes, you see her go through a whole chain of emotions.
she wasn't sad
She
before.
hangs her head. She looks like she's trying not to act like this is happening. And then her whole body is shaking from crying. And then she just stares from the judge to the jury in almost this can't be happening. I don't believe this is happening face. There's just no way. She keeps looking at her family sitting behind her, but
You know what she reminds me of? Remember that like family that was like torturing all their kids and stuff like that? It was like the something horror house. Do you remember that? They were like one of the kids, there was like 12 of them. And like one of them was like, they would like chain them up to the bed in the basement and all this stuff. And one escaped and just like ran down the road and got help. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah? You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah, right? I don't even know what I'm sure she did a video on it, but it's like like what was it, like 12 kid horror house or house of horrors. Of horrors, true crime. I don't even know but you know what I'm talking about? The Turpins. Yes, that's it. The Turpins. Yeah, the parents had like similar fucking. That's what it looked like to me. At first, when I glanced over at the thumbnail for this video, I thought it was these guys. Terrible, dude. They're the Turpins. Yeah, you don't know about it? Maybe I don't know if she did one on them, but that's that one I dove really deep into. That might be like the first true crime one that got really involved. Not really involved, but like I actually like really looked stuff up too. Maybe we can watch one of it, even if it's not Rotten Mango. Maybe we'll watch a video on it. It's pretty fucking incredible. There's all these kids, and like one of them escaped.
they can't do anything for her.
And there's body cam footage from when they like the cops went to the house. And luckily, in this case, the cops actually did their job and saved everybody. So for once.
Just 6 months ago, 14-year-old Carly Gregg is Student of the Year at her high school. She skipped a grade and was one of the highest academic achievers in her entire school. Everyone said she had a lot of friends and was quite popular.
Is it the same
What
kid?
happened since
Yeah.
March 2024 and now September 2024 that she is now sentenced to life in prison at just 15 years
I
old?
want to know who she
You
killed
say there's
also.
36 juries?
There's 12 jurors, but she's
3
convicted
counts,
of
yeah.
3 counts
Right,
of
yeah.
a crime.
Yeah.
Oh, so each person are asked, okay, 3
For
times each.
3 different
That's weird.
crimes.
Maybe
She is
her
found
state-
guilty,
that's
and each
weird.
juror has to be asked to confirm 3 different verdicts.
That's very weird.
Okay.
Now,
I never
Carly
heard of that.
Gregg, she rarely gets into trouble. She's the smart kid. Her mom's the math teacher at their high school. Her name is
Oh,
Mrs.
so
Smiley,
normal.
and she's like a fan favorite with the students. Carly's
She looks
friends,
like a nice
let's call
woman.
them Jason and Jenny, they start getting worried for Carly recently, March 2024. That's when everything starts feeling very unsettling. In fact, she's just acting very strange, more risky with her life. That morning in March, her whole demeanor feels off. She looks jittery.
They said at the beginning she's diagnosed with what, bipolar. Is that what they said? I know that comment is gonna hate it, but I was talking over that part. But it was like during like the disclaimer part. Is that what happened? They said she was diagnosed with something, right? Was it bipolar? It might have been.
Secretive, like she's hiding something. She's alone in the cafeteria and she spilled her milk. It's just weird. It feels like she's smoking weed again. And this is
Again.
very unlike Carly. She was never really into drugs. This is the same girl that scored a 30 on the ACT already as a sophomore. That's higher than 93% of all test takers.
Wow.
And now she's smuggling in knives, getting caught, going to her teacher's desk, stealing and taking pictures of the exam, getting caught passing that around. This is just not normal behavior for Carly. Jason and Jenny, they come up with this plan.
Again?
Today,
I mean, yeah. I mean, smoking weed at 15 is not weird though. That's normal. But to be doing all these other for her personality completely just like flip over like that is not normal. You know.
They're going to distract Carly and tell her mom everything. It's going to be an intervention. Will Carly be mad at them? Probably if she finds out that it was them, but this is going to help her in the long run get her act together. The plan is Jenny is going to take Carly on a walk around the school, distract her after class. Jason is going to go visit Mrs. Smiley's classroom and tell her what he knows. And Jason's smart with it. He even tells Ashley Smiley, Carly's mom, don't confront Carly about it today, that she's hiding weed vape pens in her bedroom. I just don't want her to know that it was me and Jenny. that
This is
told you
this is recent.
He thinks as long as Mrs. Smiley listens to him, everything will be fine. Everything's going according to
seem
plan.
like good
School is
friends.
dismissed, and as Jason bikes towards Carly's house to check up on her after school, he sees police cars all parked outside. That day, from the morning the high school bell rang, a series of events would take place that would end in murder.
Wow.
Carly crawls out of the storm drain. You know those little parts next to the sidewalk that has a
What?
gaping hole in the ground?
How'd she even get it
And you
open?
get nervous anytime your dog walks anywhere like 10 foot near it. You can crawl into those. It's not advised. It's for storm water to drain so that your street doesn't get flooded. But
She crawl out underground?
yes,
What?
it's cramped. It's confined. There is typically a ladder. It's typically very dark, very cold. There's probably lots of rats and very uncomfortable. It's going to smell incredibly foul down there. And
Yeah.
by the time she's crawling out, there's people waiting for her. She's soaking wet. I mean, considering the circumstances of, crawling out of a storm drain, she's remarkably calm. She looks a little confused, a little uncomfortable around these strangers, but that's to be expected when you get arrested and your hands are getting swabbed for gunshot residue. And she's short. She's like maybe not even
she's
5 feet
small.
tall at 14 years old. She's got this short brown bob. She's wearing a Nirvana shirt. And she asks the officers, "What is this?" It's GSR. It shows which hand you shot with.
What hands you shot with?
Obviously, you fired with a pistol, correct? Yes, sir.
Whoa.
She's very polite, almost kind of nonchalant. Like if you were to go to the hospital and they ask you
Bipolar
to take your weight,
makes
it's
sense.
uncomfortable, you're not feeling the best, but you're being polite and you're letting them help you. They ask her, which hand did you shoot with? Oh, I don't remember. And as they're swiping her hands, she asks, is my stepdad okay?
Oh, she
I don't
killed
know,
her.
baby. I can't talk to you about that.
Wow.
That's how a cop responds.
I don't know, baby.
Yeah. I do think he doesn't mean it strangely. I
She's
think it
so
might be a different
small.
thing. This is
Yeah.
in Mississippi.
I don't know, baby. I can't talk to you about
Yeah, it's not weird. Yeah, it's not weird.
Are you okay? Yeah.
The police step aside to talk to each other out of Carly's view about what just happened.
She's definitely going to an
discussing
episode,
which
or
facility they're
was.
going to take this teenage girl
Wow.
to. And one cop turns to the other and says, she doesn't even know about her mom. She's over here asking about, is my stepdad okay? When police were called to their house, they had found Ashley, the geometry teacher, Carly's mom, dead. Her stepdad, Heath, had been shot, and Carly had been
Shut both of them. I did not expect that at all. Holy shit. She doesn't even know. Oh my God. If this was like a mental episode, because again, I know she mentioned something about mental. I assume it's bipolar or something. They're saying she got life. I hope she's 15 years old. I hope it's. See, in that case, like, okay, you're talking about like diagnosed mental illness, I assume. Like, I hope she gets help and not just stuck in a fucking prison. A lot of these people, I'm like, no, they can't be rehabilitated. Like, no, let them fucking rot. But like in this case, man, if that's what happened, based off 10 minutes into the video, but like, Jesus Christ, I had to get back. Bye, parent chat. Love you guys. Love you, Leave. See you later. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you.
missing. She was found in the storm drain, not even like an hour later. So what happened? People don't know what happened. The police need to figure it out. And all the answers are in this small camera that's hiding inside the refrigerator. It's not normally placed inside the refrigerator because why would one need a camera in the refrigerator? That's very odd. It's normally up on a high shelf in the kitchen so you can see the whole back door. You can see the kitchen. You can even see a little bit of the living room just outside. But they find it behind stacks of water bottles in the kitchen as
She
if
hid it?
someone was intentionally trying to get rid of this camera.
Yeah.
In the refrigerator.
Yes. Because I guess the police would look in the trash.
Is it like a ring camera type of?
Yes.
Okay.
And the police import the footage and they start watching. And I'm sure it's strange for authorities to watch footage from inside someone's house. It's just weird when you watch someone move about their space. This is publicly available. I'll insert it in the video, but it's just, it's odd. Because, these are actions that people have when they think nobody is going to perceive them. Their faces are usually different too because they're not trying to smile or make certain faces because they're around people. They're just more relaxed. The police click open the first file from that day. And at this point, this is what the police know. Ashley and Carly may have had a tense car ride home, considering one of Carly's friends told Ashley that she was having problems with weed and had a burner phone and she had weed vape pens hidden in her bedroom.
Right,
And
so
it's
she's in
likely
trouble.
that Ashley Smiley, the mom, was going to go look for those weed pens in Carly's room once they got home. And they know that Ashley Smiley, the mother, the math teacher, is found dead in Carly's room. So it's safe to assume that she's in there right now when the video starts playing, because she's not in the video. You see Carly letting the family's 2 golden retrievers in from the backyard, and she's walking in through the back door, but her demeanor is interesting. She's almost sneaking back in. She's walking through the kitchen, but she's careful about each step, trying to listen while quietly going towards the living room.
Yeah.
She's standing in front of the living room. She pokes her head out to the right, then to the
crazy.
left. And then she listens briefly and then starts swiftly, quietly moving towards the left. She comes back into frame holding something behind her back. Does she hear someone? Is it like a possible intruder? What's going on? At this point, the dogs are roaming around freely in the house. Their tails are wagging. They're completely oblivious. They're having a good time. Is there an intruder? It doesn't make sense, right? You see Carly go from the left side of the hallway, pass by the kitchen to the right side of the house, holding what appears to be a gun behind her back.
Fuck.
It's on the camera?
Yes, you don't see the gun that well because she's hiding it, but it appears to be a gun because right afterwards you hear a loud gunshot. Then dogs start pacing. Then you hear a high-pitched squeal of some sort. It sounds like someone had been shot and they're squealing. Then another 2 rounds go off.
Holy shit.
And for a brief moment, everything in the kitchen freezes, and then the dogs start pacing. The dogs are so anxious, they're confused, they're trying to figure out what's going on. Carly walks back into the kitchen, calm. Like gunshots did not just go off in the house.
Is she holding the gun?
Behind her back.
Behind her back.
Yeah.
And she sits in one of the counter stools facing the camera, and she places whatever was holding behind her back down on the counter, but you can't see it, and it seems intentional. and she grabs her phone and starts
She knows where
messaging
the
people.
camera is.
Her demeanor is very bizarre, considering 3 gunshots just went off in her house.
She's hiding, right? From the camera?
Yes.
That's crazy. So she's aware the camera is recording right now.
Yes.
Everything she does is on camera.
Mm-hmm.
That is so bizarre.
She hides her whatever behind. She starts getting on her phone, and her demeanor is very strange. One of her pinkies is in her ear, digging in her ear while she's messaging her friends. That's just how casual everything seems. And then you hear someone kind of moan for help, but I think because of where the gunshots were, it sounds like someone's last breath, but it almost sounds like a humming noise, like someone's singing. It's a little
It's like a death,
unsettling
the death
considering
knell.
when you know in hindsight.
Wow. Yeah, what is that called? Like the last noise you make as you die? It's like the death knell, I think it's called. Is that correct? That's what that sounds like to me. After hearing about Brothers Home, this feels so tame. Yeah, I understand what I understand exactly what you're trying to say. This was a complete mental break. I don't know that should have tried to hide evidence like this. I saw the demeanor of the dog before we knew what happened, and I knew it was anxious body language, so I was just waiting to know why. Yeah, dude, the pets always know, man. You've seen clips of this? I never heard of the story.
Carly perks up. She listens. She's calm. She's like an FBI agent almost. If I were watching a movie, I would think this kid is like an FBI agent at the scene of the crime, ready to go.
But she was
She's alert,
activated.
cool, calm, collected. She's not pacing around like the dogs are. She just grabs the gun from behind her back and then gets out of there. Briskly walks to the right side again. In fact, the dogs are looking at her, trying to figure out what to do. They're terrified. Their tails are down. They're very panicked. And by the time that Carly comes back, her mom is dead.
There's no gunshot, right?
No. Carly goes to the kitchen, tells the dogs it's okay, and leads them back out to the backyard. She does not look fazed, even in the slightest. It looks like she's just another kid back home from school. But she's texting her friends, it's an emergency, and one of them comes over. And she asks, have you ever seen a dead body? Are you squeamish? I need you to not freak out. Do you want to see one? She had been shot in the face. She shot her mom 3 times in the face.
Holy shit.
Then she asks her friend, can you wait outside in the backyard so I can, quote, I put 3 in my mom and I'm going to put another 3 in my stepdad when he comes home. She had even taken her mom's phone and texted her stepdad, you almost home, honey? Question mark. Carly Gregg, the little girl of the math teacher in high school, the one that skipped a grade because of how intelligent she is, she killed her mom in cold blood and tried to kill her stepfather too. So what the hell is going on in this house? I don't understand. She doesn't end up killing Heath, her stepdad. She ends up shooting him. The bullet grazes his trap muscle on his shoulder, and he manages to wrestle the gun from her. And she flees the house, hiding in the storm drain.
What's going on with the friend? Do we have any details?
Right, the friend came over.
Traumatized.
Yeah.
They didn't expect to see a dead body, and now they're like, Carly has a gun and she's telling me to wait in the backyard, so I'm just waiting in the backyard because I don't want to be shot if I'm running away. I mean, they didn't say exactly like that, but it's pretty clear that's what happened. Yeah. Now, when a 14-year-old kills anyone, one of the first questions is, okay, yes, but are they insane? Because any other option doesn't make sense. 14-year-olds aren't inherently evil, are they? I mean, how can they be? They look so young and naive. She must have some debilitating mental condition that makes her legally insane, right? Carly kept this journal where on March 12th, so a week before the incident, she writes, I think I had a psychotic break earlier. The whole ordeal was quite silly. I actually spoke with one of the voices in my head. Well, I didn't hear them until earlier today, but I only do then. My particular friend and I were practically screaming bloodthirstily and ravenously. I mean, thank God physical confrontation was not fruitfully possible. I sound crazy.
She's very
I need to get
smart.
back into the habit of journaling. I think it's good. I haven't quite decided if I will bring this stupid thing to my therapist tomorrow. I just can't decide. Then stuffed into that journal is a loose piece of paper that's been folded up, and there's writing in the middle that reads, Anywho, I don't think I'll make it any longer. Then scribbled all over the paper is, please help me, please help me, please help me, in different fonts, different types of handwriting. I'm sorry, please help me. When asked about this piece of paper, Carly claims she has no idea what anyone's talking about, making it seem like she does not recall writing anything like that.
She probably doesn't.
Then another page in her journal reads, what do I believe? There is no God. Heaven and hell are fake. You don't need family.
Stitch Dag Bia, thank you for the follow. Welcome to
Writing your own destiny, loving yourself, don't belong to anyone, never be alone, go to your place of comfort often. Sometimes you must blend in, but never forget. It's okay to be evil. Sometimes you must jump into the dark to truly see the light. Death is inevitable.
Whoa.
Another one reads, water, fire, earth. I choose fire. It's powerful, beautiful, and deadly.
Is it a bad time to say I thought she was an Avatar fan? Is that a distasteful joke?
Those are the traits I desire, so I choose fire. Another one reads, do I have schizophrenia? Am I having a psychotic break?
And then the fire nation.
And one that reads,
stupid.
I know one of y'all will read this journal. She then gives a guideline on gaslighting. She writes, take advantage, happy hurting. Life's greatest illusion is innocence. And there in the middle of that page is a pencil stabbed hole where she writes, she stabbed it like Tom Riddle, which is Voldemort from
Yeah, that's from stupid. That's from Chamber of Secrets with the basilisk fang. Sorry, I was rubbing my eye.
whose most famous line is, there is no good in evil, there is only power and those too weak to seek it. Allegedly, Carly thought one day she was going to be famous for making a nuclear...
I feel like his most famous line is, and also, oh, Draco, good job. And he gives him a hug. That's just me, though. Sorry, I'm back. I had to go and do something. Welcome back, Angel. Angie.
bomb? I don't know. So it's a lot to unpack, and maybe the prosecutors did not want to unpack it. They offered Carly and her legal team a plea deal. Plead guilty for shooting and killing your mom in the face 3 times and for shooting at your stepfather.
Before you
Plead
come to
guilty
die.
and we will give you 40 years in prison.
It's a good one, too.
She'll be 54 when she comes out. Or the other option is go to trial. It's your choice. The ball is in Carly's park. And the judge tells Carly, think very clearly about this, because either she gets the 40 years, she could be 54 when she gets out, or the jury could either acquit her, meaning she gets no time, or the court could sentence her to 2 life sentences for murder and attempted murder and tampering with evidence.
She can probably get out even earlier than 54, no?
They said 40 years, no parole, I believe. Carly stands before the judge and rejects the plea deal. That would probably be the 3rd worst choice in her life. The first worst would probably be shooting her mom, then shooting at her stepdad, and now this.
She's 15. Is she even old enough to be able to... Iria6, thank you for the follow. Welcome to New York City. Hi, Parody. Hi, welcome in. Just 2 years? No, 40 years. Where'd you get 2 years from? 40 years, Irene. But she's 15. Could she even choose a plea deal or not? I feel like you needed a guardian. Well, she shot her guardians. But still, I don't know how it is in Mississippi, though.
Miss Gregg, did you receive that recommendation of 40 years?
Yes, sir.
And it was your choice and your choice alone to reject that recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor.
She now has to convince the jury, even with all that footage in the kitchen, the dog's going crazy, that she is insane. She was lost in her mind in those moments. She also has to sit there and listen to
Heath, her
her stepdad that she tried to kill but was unsuccessful, be alive, and sit on the witness stand to talk about what happened that day. Heath Smiley is Ashley Smiley's husband, Carly Gregg's stepfather. He testifies, and his testimony has been quite controversial. I will say he does appear to be quite lethargic.
Where do you keep getting 2 years from, Irene? They said 40. Where'd you get 2 years from? I don't know where you're getting... She's 15. I don't know where you're getting 2 years from. They said 40 years. I don't know where you're getting 2. Yeah.
Most of it, emotionless even.
Unless I missed something.
Carly screaming, and you heard me holler, what's the matter?
But remember, this trial is actually exponentially speedy. I mean,
You're good,
most
no
murder
worries.
trials, they take years for the prosecution and the attorneys to get through all the evidence and discovery and all of that. This happened 6 months after the crime. So it's very fresh. Everything is incredibly raw.
Last
still.
year.
He could be medicated. He
Wow.
could be emotionally guarding himself to protect himself. There's a lot of reasons he could not be emoting the way we want him to. But on the stand, he talks about how he and Ashley got married a few years ago in 2020. They met in 2019. The way he describes his wife is super nice, real smart. He's not Carly's biological father, but he felt like she was his biological daughter. The whole family, they were still in this honeymoon phase. They would go out. He would take Carly to karate lessons, guitar lessons. And then obviously everything changed March 2024. He walked in through the door
March
after work
2024.
and saw a gun go
Less
off
than a
right next
year.
to his face. He was maybe in the door 3-4 inches. The gun was about a foot from his face. The bullet grazed through his shoulder trap muscle area.
Oh my God. This
And
is
Heath's
Carly
911
ambushes
call
him.
is played for the court where he does not sound like himself. The 911 operator kept calling him ma'am. He's very incredibly distraught. It sounds like the adrenaline is overpowering and he can't even control his breathing. He isn't even able to tell the operator his address. He's just screaming. He's screaming that his stepdaughter had shot him. He managed to take the gun from her, but she ran out the back door. And Carly is the most emotional during the entire trial when she hears Heath's 911 call. Probably more emotional than when she is being read her final verdict.
Really?
Yeah.
What was her emotion?
Just snot dripping down her nose, sobbing.
Your daughter tried to shoot you? Yeah. Shooting at me. Where's she at? She ran away. How old is she? 14. 14?
I mean, I can see potentially why. I mean, when Heath discovers his wife Ashley is dead,
she
she
was
sounds a
14
bit
at
like
the
a
time.
wounded animal. I mean, I say that to paint a picture for you. It's pretty heartbreaking. He screams, she killed her mom, she killed her mom. She's dead on the floor of my daughter's stepdaughter's room. She's on the floor. When the dispatched officer arrives at the house, you can hear Heath screaming inside the house. He's finally able to open the door. He can barely stand up straight. Once he gets out the front door of his house, he falls onto the ground. He has his back up against the wall. He can barely talk.
Come on, shuffle. Hey, come here. Hey, where's your wife at, bud? Where's your wife at? She's dead on the floor in that room.
The officer
Poor
runs
fucking
inside, looks for
guy.
Ashley, and when he walks out, Heath is laying on the floor on the porch.
She shot me in the neck. But it's okay. Does she still have the gun? It's on the kitchen counter. I think I went in the back door. She tried to shoot me.
And 6 months after this, Heath is on the stand testifying, and a lot of the questions were about Carly's mental state prior to the incident. He says Carly's biological dad was just not a great person. He terrorized both Ashley and Carly, that Carly told them that whenever she went to hang out with her biological dad for required visitation custody, he would do really questionable things, like blow smoke in her face, do drugs in front of her. At one point, she reportedly told Heath that her biological dad forced her to drink a beer when she was 12. Ashley would do anything for Carly. They had such a good relationship, but because Ashley had lost a child previously to a genetic condition, it seems like perhaps she was a tad bit more on the worried parenting side, which I mean these days isn't the worst thing. Also, since her former ex, Carly's biological dad, struggles with drug usage, it seems like Ashley was very sensitive to anyone doing drugs around her, especially her 14-year-old child, for good reason. Ashley is in fact so scared of her first husband, the biological dad, she keeps a loaded weapon under the mattress of her bedroom. That's the one that Carly grabbed to kill her mom, which Heath said he was shocked by. He said that morning was as normal as it could be. I mean, everything was normal. Nothing was even slightly different. At one point, Heath states after the chaos was over, he realized the garage had a camera set up inside the garage. He went home after being released from the hospital. He found the SD card. He tried to copy the card onto his computer, and he also called the police. But instead of copying the videos to his computer, it moved the videos to his computer. Then he found the camera hidden inside the fridge. He called for the police for that as well. He did everything to be cooperative, but apparently the vibe he got back from authorities were that they were treating him strangely. The authorities gave him what appears to be lectures on, quote, tampering with evidence, because he had copied the files from the SD card. And he said that he stopped working with the authorities and hired an attorney at that point. He states that he loves Carly like his own biological child and believes the only reason she would have shot him was perhaps she did not recognize him. Maybe she thought he was an intruder or something. The prosecutor...
So he saw the footage, right?
Yeah.
The same footage you just described?
Yes, but he's saying she must not have been in her right mind. The prosecutors ask Heath to
What
identify
do you guys
the
think?
person
You guys
in court today
believe?
that shot
Do you guys
at him.
believe her so
Point to
far?
that person in court.
I think
They
I
this often.
do.
And he looks at Carly, points, and he smiles. And she smiles back. And they both smile at each other because Heath is in full support of his stepdaughter. There is a lot of discourse about Carly's stepfather, primarily because there's this one clip
You
that's
don't
going
believe her?
viral
No.
where Heath is in court, he smiles at Carly, and I don't know what he mouths, but it sounds like he mouths "I love you" to her. Which, I mean, stepdads love their stepdaughters, but I guess people just thought it was weird. So there is a lot of discourse about the stepdad. And I do want to mention that this is not normally something I would include in one of our episodes. I think it's really dangerous to talk about these types of theories that have no proven basis yet.
I think I know where she's gonna go because it did cross my mind. Like, what the fuck? No, 1 second. Sorry.
Or ever, but it
Sorry, my fucking like Roomba is like sentient. I swear to God, it starts going off for no reason. I think what she's gonna say is people probably think that the stepdad was in on it. I don't think so, but I think that's what she's gonna say, that people think like because they're so close and I love you and like maybe he was in on it and maybe that's why. Like, yeah, she shot at him, but she was able to shoot her mom in the face multiple times, but she missed the stepdad. If I'm being honest with all of you, I think if this girl stayed with her biological father any longer, he probably would have sexually assaulted her and possibly. I mean, who knows, man. That's, you know what I mean. We don't know enough about him to make that assumption, but it doesn't sound good. But I think that's what she's gonna go. It did cross my mind, like, wait, is the stepdad in on this? Because if somebody shot my fucking wife, I love you would not be what I'd be mouthing to the fucking person who did it, unless he truly believes she like has some kind of mental crack. But even then, I don't know.
it's just such a big part of the discourse of the case that it would be nearly impossible to bring you a comprehensive overview of what happened.
I'm guessing that's what
without
she's gonna
including
say.
it. And a lot of it has to do with the interactions during the trial.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think most of us are trained behavior analysts, nor do we know these people personally, nor do we have access to their personal devices. So keep that in mind. These are just theories circulating on the internet. Heath Smiley is not a known suspect of any sort of crime. In fact, he is a victim in this case, unless there's any new developments that suggest otherwise, which I don't know if there will be. But until then, he's honestly just a victim, and these theories are a little unhinged sometimes. So there is this wildly circulating theory that somehow Heath is involved in the murder.
It crossed my
Just to
mind.
reiterate, this is a pretty high-profile case. If there was evidence he was involved, I would have to hope that law enforcement would have found it, and I just don't see why they would do anything to protect Heath.
Yeah.
But the theory that is mainly based on gut feeling and court clips, some netizens think there's no way that Heath is able to forgive Carly for something like this. There's just no way. There have been arguments by netizens who state even if that was your biological child that killed your wife, it would be hard to forgive. And they're saying, like, as parents, I'm saying this. I'm not a parent, I wouldn't know. They say, even if this was a stepdaughter that you raised from birth since she was a day old, it would be hard to forgive. But they state it's even stranger when you realize that Heath only met Carly and Ashley in 2019. So Carly was maybe around 10 years old, 11 years old. I'm sure they've bonded. I'm sure there's a strong relationship, they say. But they argue that it's just not enough time, they believe, to form a bond so strong that you would want to stand by her side through all of this. Not only did she shoot and kill your wife, she tried to shoot and kill you.
Yeah,
A lot of parents were commenting saying, even if my biological child that I birthed and raised from the minute that they came out of me, if they tried to shoot and kill me, I don't know if I could forgive them. Would you really have such a strong bond that you raised after 4 or 5 years, this child, that you would, rather than your own self-preservation? People are saying if she's free, she could easily try to, quote, finish the job, if you will, and kill him. Netizens are also confused by the fact that there was a protective order put in place where Carly and Heath were not allowed to communicate for Heath's safety. But Heath, the stepdad, requested it for it to be lifted. He has been speaking with Carly ever since while she's been in prison awaiting trial. They talk nearly every day, it
It
appears.
is strange.
Then there's the whole thing with the SD card being copied onto his computer and the police having to have a conversation with him about tampering with evidence. He lawyered up after that. Some netizens thought that in addition to everything that else is strange, the SD cards is strange. What if he wanted to make sure there was nothing on there? But just to clarify, Heath was never considered a suspect. A few other parts that netizens point out is obviously the fact that he's forgiving of Carly and that he's supporting her. But later when the defense asks him what his wedding day to Ashley was like and how Carly was that day, he says Carly was just her normal, wonderful self all day. A lot of netizens think just the way he describes Carly to them does not come off as very honest, but overly perfect. They feel like he fully works for the defense in trying to help her. He's bringing up stories of how smart she is, how friends depend on her. She's so sweet, so happy, so
Pokemon
bubbly. She
cereal.
loves the dogs. One netizen writes, there is no way she was this calm, peaceful, and sweet all the time. She was taking medications, getting therapy, self-medicating. I mean, something was clearly wrong, so what is this? One netizen writes, defense will love his testimony. No justice for his wife, only Carly, I guess. Others state that Heath smiles more when he talks about Carly than when he talks about his own wife, Ashley. I did notice it, but I did notice it once someone pointed it out. So I don't know.
And when did you and Ashley Smiley meet?
It was the spring of 2019.
And at some point, did you and Ashley Smiley end up marrying each other?
We did in June of 2020.
Where'd y'all get married?
We actually went up to Gatlinburg when things opened back up after COVID.
Tell us about yours and Carly's relationship before March 19, 2024.
We were always good. We laughed and played and messed around, loved video games, and took her to karate stuff until she kind of got tired of that, and she started going to guitar practice weekly, so I was taking her to that every week.
One netizen writes, I don't think I'm accusing him of anything inappropriate, just stating that he's acting very strange. It's weird. Defending the child you only knew for 3 years that tried to kill you? Now, others argue that not everyone has to be skeptical of innocent people and victims. They argue, yes, these types of cases have happened before, where stepdads will groom the children and
Yeah, me
then
too.
might even try to get them to kill the mom, or a foster child will, there have been some cases of that. It's a lot. But they argue, even when he's talking about their family life, it just seems like a man who actually enjoyed his new life with his family and his new kid. He talks about how he and Ashley surprised Carly with their second golden retriever. It just sounds like very fond memories for him, which they find enduring, that
was
he and both
tough.
Carly are able to think back to those positive memories. Other people are saying, this is just unfair that you're accusing him because, first of all, he's a victim. There's no proof. And if there was, law enforcement would have found it by now. And second of all, it's almost perpetuating this narrative that stepfathers cannot love their stepchildren without being creeps. So they're saying it's just, why can't we just be nice parents and not be misconstrued as creeps that are trying to groom their stepkids? I mean, they're both smiling when he's talking about it. And if you listen to the footage they released in court, you hear him get shot. Yeah, in the garage footage, you hear a bang go off, and then you hear screaming, and then a few more bangs go off, and then you see Carly and her friend running, jumping the fence from the back door. Also, the 911 call, I mean, that was a very intense 911 call. I just don't know how someone would fake that kind of emotion. If he did, that's an Oscar-winning performance. As for getting an attorney, it makes total sense. They say
also
you don't want to
true.
talk to a police officer without an attorney present, as well as the fact that they took his ID and didn't give it back to him, and they kept giving him these weird lectures of tampering with evidence when, if he was suspicious, why would he even call them about the SD cards? The police weren't even looking for SD cards. They didn't even know the existence
Right, he
of
gave
these
up the
cameras.
evidence
So
himself.
it's not like, where are the SD cards? He
Unless he's trying to pin it on her. But I really don't think that's the road it's going down. I think he lawyered up because it's a good move. That's not weird at all. The stepdad sounding more creepy? I don't think so. Why would he want his wife dead? I'm not going to make any jokes about that.
called it
I'm going to be mature.
and then willingly gave it to them. So they're like, no, he's never even been considered a suspect. These group of netizens comment, if you have ever had severe trauma or PTSD, I mean, you know not to judge this man. You detach, you learn to compartmentalize the trauma. Another one reads, this is a trauma response. It's called compartmentalizing. Stop victim shaming and blaming. Another one reads, everyone
To be alone with his stepdaughter. So now you're getting back to the grooming thing. That does make sense.
really needs to stop with the accusations against the stepdad. If you don't think that detectives and prosecutors haven't already checked out that angle, you're nuts. Further, if there were something there with the stepdad, her defense attorneys would be using it as part of her defense, because then she could say that she was coerced or manipulated into doing these things by another adult. Another suspects that he might just be very medicated right now. And I will say, I think it would be really hard to fake that 911 call. One netizen comments, the grief in his cries for his wife is earth-shattering. Or, I don't feel that he's covering up or hiding anything. I think this is a man destroyed. He's just numb. He's answering all the questions asked. That's my opinion. Others think not only do they feel bad for Heath, but it just shows how good Carly is at manipulating people. She fooled her friends, she tricked her mom, her psychiatrist, and now her stepdad, especially because he's in such a vulnerable state. He might feel almost, to a degree, trauma bonded to Carly. In a sense, Carly might be the only other person that went through what he went through that day. Or maybe even helping her will give him a purpose to try and offset the bad, some netizens have speculated. Or perhaps it's the guilt of missing your wife and knowing that perhaps Ashley would not want her daughter to be rotting in prison for the rest of her life. One netizen comments, I feel he's being manipulated by Carly and is making himself look like a creep for defending her. Which many netizens can see. Just the way he talks about Carly, it sounds like someone who has been charmed, almost. When he talks about how intelligent she is, he states, she was always complaining to us that kids constantly bug her for help with schoolwork because she can do all of it so easily and she can explain it to them better than most teachers. And she got so tired of them coming to her for stuff. She loved school, but she was almost bored with school a lot of days, even though she was in the advanced classes. She was a light year ahead of everything they're teaching. You know, anything new she picks up and just wants to be a step ahead of the teachers. At one point, the defense attorney asks, in all the time that you've known Carly, would you describe her as callous? No. Calculating? No, not except with math. And he smiles, and Carly smiles. So Carly's grandparents have also been in attendance, Ashley's parents, it seems. She smiles at them whenever she comes into the courtroom. So people use that as proof that Carly's just very manipulative, it seems.
Do we see the grandparents' reaction?
Yes. Not in the high emotional moments, but when she smiles at them, and they're typically stoic and smiling back. Yeah. There might be a legal aspect to all of this too. Some people say, no, he's not defending Carly because he is like doing something weird with Carly. It might be because he's trying to protect himself. Technically, the gun used to shoot Ashley is registered to Heath. Heath knows that prior to this, she was seeing a therapist and Carly was mentally unstable. Some netizens believe that could fall on Heath.
That's
he
true.
could get some sort of charges for having his gun so easily accessible.
Yeah,
because
supposed to have a
recently
gun
with all the
locker.
other happenings, the school shootings, that has been the case where parents know that their children are mentally unstable and still let them have access to weapons. They also get charged,
As they should.
which
Yeah.
rightfully so.
Yeah, I
but
agree.
some people think he's doing this defensive, like, no, nothing was wrong, so that he doesn't get legally held potentially for having her have access to these weapons.
Wow.
So some people are saying it's not a weird thing. He's doing this for his legal thing, and that's probably why he also got an attorney. I don't know about this theory. I don't know if the police would have charged him with anything, but a lot of netizens have been pointing it out. Also, there were a lot of guns in that house. There was also a shotgun and an AR, unloaded, but in the closet. But still, one netizen writes, hearing that the gun was unsecured under the bed, it feels like all of this could have been prevented or reduced with proper gun safety. So that's one of the theories. And then I will say a good chunk of people fall into the category of, I don't know, but it's definitely weird. They comment, very weird reactions from the stepdad, but I guess people deal with trauma differently. I don't know. One of the reasons that this case starts going viral recently is not just her interactions with her stepdad, whom she tried to kill, but Carly has very interesting court appearances, and she just behaves a bit interesting. A lot of netizens have opinions on how she looks, what she's wearing, how she cries. So people point out that she was arrested in a Nirvana shirt, and her hair was...
They had an AR. I mean, in the South, that's not that uncommon. I think the whole AR thing is like overblown anyway, but that's maybe not a conversation for today. Could have been prevented with proper gun safety, but the stepdad is also very suspect. The gun safety thing is the biggest thing to me. You get a gun locker. You're supposed to get a gun locker. That's like number one rule. A psychopath can take these emotions even some practice. It's true, man. That's true. I don't know. I don't know why I'm still leaning towards believing the kid, but it is a weird situation with the stepdad. He's just so positive about her. I don't know. No, it's so strange. I think maybe if he were to look back at it and recognize the red flags, he'd spiral and start wondering why he didn't do something to prevent it. Yeah.
In this almost sporty looking bob, but now she's got this bob with bangs. She is kind of leaning into this doll girl type of aesthetic.
Amish looking.
I don't know. Obviously, nobody expects her to show up in court with her Nirvana shirt on, but some netizens think that she's clearly dressing in a way that is very reminiscent of Catholic schoolgirl outfits. Plaid dresses, collared dress shirts, cardigans with gold buttons all the way, frilly sleeves. Some netizens comment, who thought dressing her up like an 8-year-old would be believable? I don't know. The outfit makes her look more
like they're
evil.
trying to make her
The
look
little
younger.
Catholic schoolgirl thing does not work on us. They also say with her hair, the short hair with the bangs and the outfits, they say she looks like the girl from the movie Orphan,
Yeah.
which makes this creepier. But
Or
some
like- or the-
commentators
or
think
the
it's
girls
working. They
from,
write, I
The
mean, she's got
Shining.
that little pumpkin face, this little bob. She looks very innocent. Others make comments about how the defense is working overtime with her styling, saying, surprised they didn't just put her in something pink with unicorns on it. Yeah, so that's been a huge topic of conversation. I will say her baby face is kind of out of this world. She does look a lot younger than she is.
Yeah.
And defense attorneys, to their defense, will coach their clients on
Of
what
course.
to wear, how to
Of
dress.
course.
But more so than her attire, I think it's her demeanor. I mean, the first day she looks a bit more distressed, but other than that, most of the time she looks like she's seen crazier stuff, like more exciting stuff. She looks like she's in the pews of Easter Sunday church sermon. She looks kind of disinterested. She's very emotional during Heath's 911 call when that's played. She's pretty engaged when Heath is on the stand. And she's the most locked in when the defense expert, the psychiatrist, goes up there to talk about how mentally unwell she is.
What is she doing? She's just locked in?
Locked in. So fascinating.
Like, what are they saying? Just talking about her.
Just that she has potentially schizophrenia. She's bipolar.
Yeah.
She was not of her right mind.
Over the last 5 years, she thought about 60% of her time in a depressed state, about 20% of her time in a hypomanic state, and about 20% of her time in a normal mood state. So I gave her the diagnosis of bipolar 2 disorder.
The locked-in is weird. She's fascinated by how someone perceives her, how
Yeah.
this expert perceives her.
It's
There is
very-
an
that's very
authoritative look to
psychopath-like.
her when she's locked in. It's not like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, what's happening? Like, I don't understand these words he's saying. It's almost analytical studying, which is kind of, it was a little creepy at times, yeah. It was a little unsettling. She does giggle and
She's
smirk a
taking
lot
notes
during
on
the
what to
trial.
change?
There was one time.
What?
Okay, there was one where the prosecutor's expert went up there and he's talking about, yeah, I don't think she's crazy. I read through her journals. I spoke with her. I'm a psychiatrist. I don't think she's crazy. And like the whole Tom Riddle thing, that's from Harry Potter. And he's talking about the connections with Harry Potter and all these villains. She seems to have an obsession with villains. And she
Yeah,
just
clearly.
smirks. A full smirk.
Tom Riddle is from Harry Potter series, and he turns into Lord Voldemort, and he's evil. And so in her journal, she talked about Harley Quinn, war crimes, Tom Riddle.
Sometimes she's giggling with her attorneys. I don't know if they're writing something, but she'll just giggle. She scribbles something on a piece of paper, her defense attorney, and I don't know what the context is.
This was last
but
year,
she
Irene.
thinks it's hilarious and
Last
she just
March.
starts giggling. It's just not appropriate.
March
Another
24.
point of frustration for netizens is she really only cries when someone calls her a victim of some sort. She just can't help but cry. And there are other times when her defense attorneys talk about how close she is with her mom. She starts blinking rapidly. Her lips get thin and she starts nodding up and down like, yes, we were. A lot of people feel like it's very forced. You tell me. She also does this thin-lipped looking down shy smile when the defense like talks about her grades and how smart she is. Like, oh, stop, I'm embarrassed. Or when the defense talks about how she's not a deranged child, she's not a troubled child, she does these strange little like no head shakes and her lips are thin, like she's trying to cry and she just shakes her head no. It's just, it feels like she's very performative for the jury. And it just doesn't feel natural. A lot of
And it's not working.
No, a lot of the comments read, me when I force myself to cry. Sometimes she'll have these moments where she just looks straight into the camera of the live streaming court stuff where it just feels like she's breaking the fourth wall. The whole thing is unsettling. She'll just stare straight into the camera. Many netizens also point out that she just cries at weird times. I mean, she could be in her head, but she'll just start busting out into tears while they're swearing in a witness, like a random witness, like a police officer.
That's
who's
strange.
probably not going to say anything crazy, but she'll just start crying while they're being sworn in. It's just very odd. On top of that, when a state witness, so her opposition, if you will, if they state something about her that puts her in a negative light, she'll just sometimes smirk here and there. And then she'll like take these side glances to her stepfather who's sitting in the court supporting her, and then they'll smile at each other, and her behavior is definitely unsettling, and it's not working in the defense's favor because
You're no snake. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to this.
their whole argument here is that Carly is insane. They state that prior to this, Carly they're saying she is like the poster child for someone who might have a psychotic break. They're saying that her biological father is bipolar. Now, the state brought up an expert who said, well, I went through her father's medical records because I was allowed to, and I saw that he had a 1-hour consultation with a doctor, and they diagnosed him with bipolar disorder, bipolar 2 to be exact. But 1 hour is not enough, and that same doctor prescribed him Adderall, which is an ADHD medication. And this psychiatrist for the state is saying that is not common. When you have someone with bipolar 2, you would be very, very hesitant.
Yeah, you
and
wouldn't
careful
amp them up
to
with fucking
prescribe a controlled
amphetamines.
substance like
Yeah,
Adderall.
of course. Yeah,
The
that's so
defense also
strange.
states that her dad is schizophrenic, and they state that that means Carly has a higher chance of being schizophrenic,
For
but
sure.
he has never been diagnosed, at least from what the state could find of having schizophrenia. They state that prior to this, Carly was seeing a therapist here and there for a few weeks because she was just having bouts of depression. She just became very lethargic. Her mom was really worried about her. She would go see this therapist like once or twice a week, never mentioned hearing voices, but suddenly in prison after the murder, she reports that she's been hearing voices since she was a little kid. The state's experts argue that's actually not very realistic. People don't start hearing voices when they're 7 years old. Maybe it's an internal monologue that they mistake as a voice in their head, but these hallucinations don't come in that early and that consistently. They also state that Carly was put on antidepressants. She was first put on Zoloft, and that made her feel like a, quote, zombie. They switched her medication to Lexapro. They think that that medication switch also caused a psychotic break in her head.
Yeah,
The
Lexapro
state
is
is arguing Lexapro
scary.
usually causes self-exit ideations, not homicidal ideations. So this just doesn't make sense either. Like, are we really pulling the Lexapro defense? Because it doesn't really work. The defense also states the weed, the self-medicating, was also very volatile for her mental state, which most people argue it's just weed. She should not be doing it at 14, but it's just weed.
Yeah, I agree.
And a lot of comments were saying if she was doing meth, cocaine, crack, all these things, I
Agreed.
might be like, okay, yeah, that could probably cause a psychotic break. But weed, people were saying it doesn't make any sense. They also state that coupled with sudden disappointment that she knew her mom was feeling because on the way home, she found out that her mom found out that there were vape pens in her room. She didn't want to feel that disappointment because she loves her mom so much that it rendered her into a state of psychosis. And then she murdered her mother in a state of psychosis. So would I say out of all the insanity defenses that I've researched before, is this a good one? I would say it's probably one of the worst ones. Especially for a 14-year-old, I feel like you could have done an okay job considering her age.
What do you mean you could have done an okay job?
Because she's already 14, she's been in therapy. I feel like there would have been a lot of ways for a good defense attorney to try and spin a whole story about how she's unwell. I don't think it would have been believable in the end, but these defense attorneys were very questionable.
Really?
Yeah, I think they were.
No, also the cocktail of like Lexapro plus being bipolar plus Adderall and like with her chemical imbalances already. I don't know, man. don't know. Did you know that addictions are inheritable? Yeah, I did know that. Like if someone has a drinking addiction, then their child has a high chance of being an alcoholic. Yep. Would it actually drive someone to a murderous state? Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, that cocktail, Lexapro was scary, but yeah, usually it's like a suicide thing. But I don't know. When you're messing with like brain chemicals like that, it's hard to say. I'm a fucking anime man on the internet. What the fuck do I know, you know?
They were probably, one of the worst defense attorneys I've seen. And the biggest thing is, the defense states that before Carly shot her mom, she blacks out, doesn't remember coming home, okay? She gets home, blacks out, shoots her mom. She comes to in the storm drain. She crawls out of the storm drain. But the state points out the fact that in the body cam footage, her hands are getting swabbed, and then she confirms it's a pistol. She asks about her stepdad. So they're asking, okay, how could you black out and still remember those things? Additionally, her psychiatrist is stating that she is having these nightmares where she hears gunshots go off. And this is in prison while she's awaiting trial. Now, the state argues, if you blacked out, you don't remember. So why would you have these PTSD-like dreams about it if you don't recall that? If that's not something that you did, how could you have nightmares about it? And then also they argue that her journal, it sounds like someone who wants it to be read. It sounds kind of like a little kid reads a book on psychosis and then writes a journal about it.
And the journal was written all like recently?
Yes.
Like how recent was it?
Within the oldest entry I think they brought up into evidence was maybe a few months old. Oh, there was one in 2023, so like 11 months before she allegedly wrote, I'm a schizophrenic person. I'm crazy. I miss the comfort of being sane. I just want to find true love. Then maybe I wouldn't be so crazy. I'm scared. I need help. Something along those lines. And the psychiatrist for the state was like, again, it just sounds like every symptom in the book that she's trying to replicate into this journal. It sounds very villainous. All these things are a little bit odd. And and the way that she writes about hearing voices, she writes, it's silly actually. The state psychiatrist says, if you've met anyone with auditory hallucinations, they would never trivialize it. They would never say, it's silly actually, because these are real to them. It's so traumatizing. It's so haunting for them. They're terrified of these voices. They're not gonna downplay it and say, I'm just so silly. I hear these voices.
I see.
Right.
And also,
she's way too aware of what's going on.
Carly was trying to argue that it seemed like Carly was out of her mind. She didn't even recognize him when she shot at him. That's how he says it. But she did text on her mom's phone, you coming home, honey? Like, it's very clear that she's luring him in. Additionally, one of the main notes of her psychiatrist that was seeing her prior to the murder was that Carly reported being angry with her friends because they weren't as serious as her. The psychiatrist wrote she never reported hearing voices. She was just kind of rude to people she felt were not as smart as she was. She felt like she was losing patience with her teachers. It seems like she gets off on being better than others. She would tell her therapist in almost a bragging way that she was reading Crime and Punishment, which is about a main character who is obsessed with his own intellectual superiority.
She's one of those
and he starts
fucking
planning
kids
to murder someone to get away with it. And he does in fact murder someone, and his whole life starts unraveling. He descends into a very scary state of paranoia, self-loathing. He's being hunted by a detective till he's ultimately confessed and is sentenced to hard labor. And they report that she does seem to have these very strange wants to appear a certain way. But that was about it. Other than that, she seemed a little depressed. The state argues Carly likely heard her mom in her room finding her vape pen. That's why she was listening. Then she walks with purpose quickly directly to where the object is that could kill her mother. In her mom's room is the gun under the mattress. To me, that sounds like an intact motor function. It shows coordination and it suggests a specific intent. She did not walk to the kitchen and grab a banana, which is something that many psychotic patients would do, like when they're in psychosis, in a state of psychosis. A lot of the times when people are in a state of psychosis, they don't harm others. They end up harming themselves by accident. She walks directly to where the sole object is that could kill her mother, retrieves it. In a very methodical manner, she peeks around the corner while hiding this object. These are high-functioning things that take several areas of the brain.
You guys
It's almost
mentioned this
predatory,
also.
in my opinion. That is the statement of the state's expert.
You guys
And
mentioned the
even
same
with the
thing.
2 shots to Ashley's brain, he believes it takes marksmanship that
That's
shows
what I
a high
said.
level of brain functioning
Mhm.
to shoot someone in the head like that. He says if he were to describe the crime, the psychiatrist states the word would be diabolical. And in fact, he states Carly is actually quite charming and manipulative in a sense. He says she's very likable. I liked her. I don't like saying any of these things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So with the closing statements, the defense states, if Carly is so diabolical, so smart, so callous, why is this so dumb? Essentially, they ask, nothing about this looks like a well-planned out scheme. Much of what she did seems senseless. Why plan to shoot your stepfather and invite friends over? That makes no sense. Why wouldn't she immediately just run away? I hope none of us are ever judged by the worst moment of our lives, but rather our whole lives as a whole. And when you look at the facts of this case as a whole and the picture of who Carly Gregg is on the whole, you'll see this wasn't a bad kid. This wasn't a kid who was enraged. This was a kid experiencing significant mental health issues and health issues that were running in her family that we know are hereditary. This is a kid that was compliant with the medication that she was put on. However, that medication caused her symptoms to worsen. And while she was having a state of psychosis, in that episode of acute stress, she lost herself in what was the perfect storm. I'm asking you, for those reasons, to please find Carly Gregg not guilty by reason of insanity and finally quell this storm for Carly Gregg and her family. The prosecutors state, the defense wants you to believe that from the time she took the dogs out, she blacked out. Well, that's a real convenient time to be blacked out. But she still has the wherewithal to enter her mom's code into her phone and text someone specific, and that specific person is her stepfather, Heath Smiley. When are you going to be home, honey? They go on to argue, yes, she has mental health problems. Quote, those records state she has anxiety and depression. Ladies and gentlemen, it's indisputed that anxiety and depression don't cause you to kill someone. As for her hearing voices or having lapses in time, you did not hear that from any provider that's ever seen Carly before the crime. Was it a perfect plan? No, nobody ever said it was perfect. That's why we're here, but that is not insanity. In the end, Carly was found guilty. They are appealing her sentence, but a lot of netizens have a lot of thoughts, even with this verdict. The netizens who believe that Carly should have been found insane, not guilty by reason of insanity, they write, damn, some of you guys are brutal, she's a baby. She doesn't even have a fully developed frontal cortex. Things happen to children that develop these behaviors. They're born innocent. She's remorseful. It happens sometimes.
It happens
14
sometimes.
is a child. I know she took a life, but her brain is
Nah,
not
but that's
fully
old enough
developed.
to know what the fuck.
We're watching more and more children being treated like adults. I'm torn. The crime is really bad, yet we are dealing with a child physically, mentally, and emotionally. Poor Carly, the way her stepfather smiles at her and has a good relationship with her. I remember I started seeing a psychiatrist at 14 because I was bipolar. They had her on medication. Maybe she just flipped out. The others that do not believe she was insane at the time of the crime, that she knew what she was doing, they write, the fact that she shot her mom, came to the kitchen and was messaging someone, heard her mom screaming, and then went back to check up on her, she was fully aware of what she was doing. Another writes, oh, cry me a river. She's always trying to make herself cry, but it's not working. Sociopaths always forget to produce tears in their performances. I believe those tears are real tears. I just don't believe this was mental illness, is another comment. She cries for herself and herself only. She ugly snot cried today because it suddenly became very real for her that she will spend the rest of her life in prison. I don't know. After hearing from her therapist, nothing sounds like insanity. Sounds like a very intelligent girl who, for all intents and purposes, is now trying for some insanity defense. Still don't know if life is the answer, but she should have taken that 40-year plea. Others just focus on the evidence in the trial, like the footage of the dogs. They write, the body language of these dogs really makes it sink in for you. They instantly went from tails wagging excited to see
They
their
know
owners to
something's
scared,
wrong.
frantic,
Yeah.
and confused. Animals are so perceptive.
Yeah, they are.
Wait, what happened with the dog?
After the gunshots, they start pacing.
Yeah.
They look very anxious and stressed.
Poor dogs, dude.
Others are just using that as a chance to bully a 14-year-old. They write, it's the chin pimples for me. Hope they sell Proactive at the commissary in prison.
Sorry.
Others are just talking about her strange courtroom cries and smiles. They write, it's the fake convulsions and strained face for me. Others think Carly is enjoying the trial, and they write, look at her. She's both horrified and fascinated by what she's done. She has been sentenced to life in prison for the murder of her mother, the attempted murder of her stepfather, and 10 years for tampering with evidence. Her attorneys have expressed disappointment, and
What temper? with evidence?
With the
hiding
camera?
cameras.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they state that Carly knows this is not the end, meaning they're going to be appealing the verdict, which could be possible. I imagine if she claims ineffective counsel, there were parts where the defense was just doing things, and I'm like, what is the purpose of this? For example, the body cam footage where Carly is arrested and her hands are being swabbed, the defense kept bringing up the fact that one of the officers muted his body cam after swabbing Carly's hands. He states that he did it because he and the other officers were talking about personnel issues, like who's going where and who's taking where who. And those are lots of officers' names that don't need to be included in this evidence.
I don't know.
Right?
You can mute them.
And it's not like they were interacting with Carly at the time that they muted it. They were stepped off to the side. There were other officers with Carly. But the defense kept stating it was strange. It's against protocol. Is it not? Is it not? And everyone was like, I mean, it is. He did break protocol, but what does that have to do with Carly? Because it's not like he has any incentive or motive, or there's no suspicion that
Right.
he was trying to help Carly, not help Carly. And
Right. If he muted the conversation with her, I can understand, but it doesn't do anything.
anyway,
Yeah, it's unrelated, right?
yes, but they were just kept going on it.
Looking for
you
something,
Admit it,
looking
you
for
broke
anything.
protocol. A lot of the expert stuff didn't make sense. They state that she was diagnosed after the murder with bipolar 2 and was having auditory hallucinations her whole life. But auditory hallucinations can happen to those with bipolar 2, but aren't as common. So everything just felt very wishy-washy. I don't know. She could have bipolar 2. She could have been having auditory hallucinations, but it just, nothing made sense. In fact, they just basically went up there and read someone the DSM-5 is what it felt like. They were like, you know what? It could have been this, which symptoms include blah, 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 blah,
And
blah.
DSM-5 is the
Diagnostic manual for psychiatrists. It just felt not specific to Carly and just more so a regurgitation of information of things that could possibly happen.
Yeah, they
to
were
someone
rattling
when they
off
have
everything.
Maybe certain conditions. It just didn't make sense.
I believed it more in the beginning, but yeah,
And
I
some
definitely
comments
changed
just
my
read,
mind.
This is justice. She could have admitted guilt and gotten parole after 40 years, but she didn't. She didn't admit anything, and now she gets life in prison and will never be released. She chose this. Another comment reads, she is truly shocked. She thought because she was 14 and looks 12 that it was going to go in her favor.
Yeah, I
Another
think
comment
so.
reads, the thought of someone carrying their own killer in their stomach for 9 months is truly creepy to me and depressing. Another just
That's a wild comment, but it is something to think about, huh? I didn't think about it that way, but that is a wild way to think about it.
reads, adult decisions have adult consequences.
It's true.
What are your thoughts on this case? It seems like everybody is very divided. Some people think that she should just be hospitalized. Others think that she should be acquitted. I would say most are pretty happy with this conviction, but they wonder if there's a lot of other theories roaming around. What are your thoughts? Why do you think she killed her mom? Just pure evil? Some people were saying this is like a serial killer in the making, but a lot of people were also arguing it doesn't make sense. She doesn't have these trademarks that you see in a lot of serial killers. It just feels off. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments. Please stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.
Wow. That's a crazy one, man. What do you guys think? Or if you're watching the YouTube video, what do you guys think? I started off like thinking it was a mental episode, but now I'm leaning towards she's just a fucking sick little kid who fucking thought she would get away with it. But it's still like, yeah, why? Therapy all around for everyone, but also jail fits. Yeah, I think she has to be locked up. I do. That's a crazy one, man. It does seem like she was really just trying to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. And I've watched these movies and I know like this is how these people act and all this stuff. I think I agree. I honestly feel bad for the mother more than anything. Of course, yeah. The child you provided and protected for so long, and then you just turn around and get shot by the same kid. Like, holy fuck, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. Let me know what you guys think. That's a crazy one. I think she's probably a sociopath and can't relate to people. It's something, dude. It's definitely something. I can't pretend to know, you know? That's a good one. That being said, I think I'm gonna. Oh, that's a little close. I think I'm probably gonna get to ending stream. I'm a little tired because I've been staying. I've been waking up early. I know it's early. I think she does have the mental illness that needs to be addressed, but I also think she deserves jail time. I think so too. I agree. Bro, I just came back from dinner. Oh, damn it, dude. Damn it. I should have waited for you, Juju. I'm sorry. Yeah, it took what? We did like 3.5 hours, something like that. Which is not very long. I'm just sleepy, dude. I'm sorry. I will be on tomorrow, I think. I think tomorrow we're gonna play mouth washing, which should be nice and creepy and weird and not too long. So thank you for always giving us such good streams. I appreciate it, dude. Sorry I was a little tired. Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna play mouth washing. I haven't played that yet, so I just found you and I already love you and your content. I appreciate you. Follow me on Twitter and follow me on YouTube, and please watch The Couch Eating Girl next. Okay, maybe next time we watch Rotten Mango. I'm gonna finish it off with tonight though, but maybe next time we watch Rotten Mango, which could also be tomorrow. Because mouth watching is only like a 2.5 hour game. So.
Yeah, boy.
Lovely Rose, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the city. We're gonna raid out to Mo Marrow. You guys know that girl. You know I like Mo Marrow. Say hi to her. Be nice to her. I may not be here because I have a date tomorrow. Ooh, big day for Juju. Let's go. I like that. Follow my socials, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, we're going to read out to Mo Marrow. I'm EP. Maybe tomorrow I'll actually get on early. Maybe. Probably. But yeah, mouthwashing is only like 2.5 hours. The way I play things, probably 3.5 hours. But it's supposed to be good. I don't know anything about it. I'm going completely blind, so that should be fun tomorrow. So. Yeah, everybody I was new that came in, it was nice to meet you guys. I appreciate you. Make sure you follow and subscribe and do all that shit. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hate saying that shit, but I have to. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. I love you. Goodbye.